cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. It's expected to be the biggest IPO ever, and it hits the NASDAQ today. SpaceX makes its Wall Street debut. The company is priced at 555 million shares at $135 apiece, a valuation of almost $1.8 trillion. After threatening another barrage of strikes against Iran, President Trump changes course again.
Hours after threatening to hit Iran very hard and seize the country's oil industry, President Trump abruptly backing off, claiming there is now a deal to end the war.
We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents. We should get done over the next few days.
Iran and the U.S. have been trading fire for days.
ABC's Rachel Scott. 500,000 power outages across the Midwest thanks to a line of storms that moved through Thursday and overnight. This is ABC News. Pro golfer Phil Mickelson has been kicked out of the California Golf Club where he was a member.
His longtime club near San Diego confirms it has banned him. Golf Digest says it happened after Mickelson was accused of inappropriate contact with a female employee. An attorney for Mickelson says there is video evidence contradicting the allegations.
That's ABC's Hannah Battah. It has been a year since schools began adopting cell phone bans, and, says ABC's Bethany Braun Silva, some have seen changes.
The biggest takeaway is that classrooms feel different. Teachers report fewer distractions, more participation, and more face-to-face interaction among students. In New York, educators surveyed after the first year of the ban said students were more engaged in class and spending more time talking with one another instead of looking at those phones.
As for educational gains, they take longer to show up than behavioral changes, but some early studies in Florida have found improvements in attendance and academic performance. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It is 6:02, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we're seeing sunshine and 68 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. It was a race against thunderstorms to rescue 4 people stuck on a ride at Six Flags. KMOX's Michael Calhoun followed the story to its conclusion last night.
It came down to beating the weather. 4 people became stranded atop the Sky Screamer ride at Six Flags. The park says it stopped about halfway down and could not be lowered manually. With storms bearing down in Eureka, crews could not afford a hitch. Rescuers were lifted up in a basket to bring the riders down 2 at a time.
We are in a position now. We are rigged. All we have to do is drop lines through the change down to the ground and get people on them.
But Eureka Fire Chief Scott Barthelmess tells KMOX that was only rescue option 1. They had ropes and more on standby.
We used plan A, which was the crane, and we had plan B already rigged up top, and we were working on plan C because we wanted to make sure that they were down before this weather hit.
Thunderstorms with lightning were only a half hour out, and Sky Screamer is 236 feet tall in total. But after getting stuck at about 5:30, the good news came just after 8.
All 4 victims off the ride. We're working on demobilizing the rescuers from the ride.
And nobody was hurt. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Six Flags spokesperson Elizabeth Godway says the park's maintenance team usually handles a stuck ride on its own. They can reset it or lower it by hand, but last night, none of that was doing the trick.
They could have worked at it a little longer, but we knew we had the storm coming in, and we didn't want to get so close to that we weren't giving first responders time if we needed them. So we just made that call tonight that we needed to bring them in.
Gotway says guest safety is behind those weather calls all the time, even the ones that frustrate visitors when the park closes early. Last night, the storm held off just long enough. She says the family never got wet. We'll have more information on this coming up at 6:22.
A man already facing charges for smashing windows at Steve's Hot Dogs has now been charged for doing the same thing at the gin room. 27-year-old Nicholas Owens accused of breaking 2 windows at the South Grand Bar on June 4th. A witness pointed police in his direction. It was apparently caught on surveillance video. Owens is being held without bond.
An Alton 18-year-old sentenced to 35 years in jail for a shooting that killed a 13-year-old bystander. Vito Crowder, one of 5 defendants charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of Renea Stewart, who was just standing on a front porch when she was hit by gunfire in February 2024. She died 10 days later. According to testimony, Crowder and one of his co-defendants fired shots at the porch after they were told members of a rival gang were in the area.
The new chief of the St. Louis County Police Department tells KMOX concern about teenage takeovers is keeping him up at night.
Something bad is going to happen. And when it happens to young folks, it looks twice as bad.
Chief Juan Cox says if kids are bored, there are activities available.
We have programs in place to keep them busy. But I think we really have to start holding these juveniles accountable for their actions.
He says intelligence units for both St. Louis County and St. Louis City Police are working to put together a plan to combat the issue. Cox was a guest on Total Information AM.
The program is broke. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you live in the 5th Ward or the 14th Ward. It doesn't serve our residents.
St. Louis City leaders letting the 50/50 Streets Sidewalk program expire. This comes as executive order to implement the city's first transportation plan in decades was signed into law yesterday. The decades-old Streets program is designed to allow property owners and the city to split the cost of sidewalk repairs 50/50.
However, as costs continue to rise and infrastructure continues to crumble, the costs of repairs are often too much for residents to shoulder. Alderman Matt Devote.
For instance, in the 5th Ward right now, we have more than 600 50/50 requests. And that's in a ward where folks have the means to invest in sidewalks. Of course, outside of the ward, there are other residents, other places where that ability doesn't exist.
If voters were to approve Amendment 5, which will be on the statewide ballot in August, the Missouri State Legislature could tax medical care and prescription drugs, should they choose to. However, would those taxes appear before the voters for them to decide? Not if it happens shortly after Amendment 5 is passed, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young.
For the first 5 years, Amendment 5 appears designated to allow the General Assembly to expand sales or use taxes to new services without triggering the usual Hancock voter approval requirement.
Young says there is nothing written in the amendment or federal law that would prevent Jefferson City from broadly taxing medical care.
Missouri could go broke by the middle of next year unless drastic changes are made to the way the state spends money. State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick tells Missouri Net the state is on track to spend $2 billion more than it collects in revenue every year.
So that's a $2 billion problem that exists at this moment that is going to have to be corrected in the next, say, 17, 16 months, something like that, before the state completely runs out of money at the current level of burn or cash burn that's been taking place.
Fitzpatrick recommends Governor Mike Kehoe veto portions of the new state budget that's set to begin July 1st, as well as vetoing other bills that come with a high price tag. A spokesperson for the governor says a thorough review of the state budget is underway.
It is 6:08. Traffic and weather are next.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is now 6:10. Thanks for tuning into Total Information AM. Let's get you updated on traffic and weather, starting with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's no complaints out there right now, Debbie. Everything's light and on the go, and you would expect it to be on a Friday morning. No weather-related issues. Roads should be pretty dry. I don't think we have the high humidity factor, so you'll see sun in your eyes soon enough, I'm sure. But right now, everything's cruising along. The sun is up, but not bothering anybody, at least not enough traffic to slow you down on these interstates, even in the work zones. 64 still looks good westbound. 55, 64 actually coming through 3rd Street toward the Pott where we have those right lane closures. That's one of the first backups we see these days. It looks good on 55 coming up through 141 to the Merrimack as well down south. The only problem spot we have, I believe it's an overturned vehicle crash. It is a crash on Highway N near West Linda Lane. That's out N north of 30. That's Franklin County of the Lone Dell area. But again, lighter traffic, so it doesn't look like there's any real issue getting through the area that I'm aware of so far. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Some changes to the weather today. It'll be cooler and less humid with sunshine and a high of 85. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68, and then we'll see a little more humidity getting back into the area for tomorrow. We'll have clouds and sun with an afternoon thunderstorm and a high of 82. Morning clouds and a thunderstorm give way to some sun on Sunday, high 78. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have sunny skies this morning, 69 in Florissant, 66 in St. Peters, and 69 degrees downtown at the Arch.
I'm Joe Pott. Cards wrapped up a series yesterday in New York. I've got those details straight ahead in sports.
It is 6:12. Those Metrolink security gates that riders have heard about for years are finally getting switched on.
Stand clear. All doors are closing.
Metro Transit is setting July 6th as the date to close the doors or to activate automatic fare gates at the first 13 stations. This is the official closing off of a light rail system that over its history has always been open to anybody who walked up to the platform. Metro CEO Toby Roach has told KMOX where the gates have already been running, though, riders are responding.
In a couple of the places where SPP has been in operations, now that's their manned gates at the point. We've seen actually increases in ridership, Michael. It's very exciting. And I think that's what it's telling us is that people like our product, that it is safe and secure.
The work is part of Metro's multi-year secure platform plan, which is also adding nearly 300 cameras system-wide. Riders will get through those gates with their phone, a smart fare card, or a ticket from a machine. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Opponents of a proposed apartment and housing development along Deer Creek and Ladue made their case to the city's zonings commission. The Post-Dispatch reporting nearly 24 people showed up Wednesday to tell the city zoning commission to reject a proposal to develop former industrial land along Deer Creek near McKnight and Litzinger.
A Creve Coeur company wants to build a 235-unit luxury complex, 11 homes and 31 villas on land that sits around a former rock quarry landfill with Deer Creek running through it. Residents say the area floods now and new construction would make it worse. The commission meets again June 24th.
Some people will always want to deal in cash. Jason Hadaway with the Missouri Bankers Association says Missouri's penny law bill sets official rounding rules for cash purchases.
I think the law is very well articulated. I think it gives the kind of consistencies that merchants, retailers, and consumers need. And ultimately, that allows banks to operate in their fundamental role, which is ensuring that these orders can be fulfilled, that cash and coin are placed correctly within the system.
Governor Kehoe has yet to sign the penny law bill. Hadaway says there was a penny shortage for a while until the Federal Reserve said it would still distribute pennies. For now, the U.S. Mint won't be making any new ones.
Soccer fans are in heaven.
The FIFA World Cup is officially underway, and St. Louis City SC marked opening day by kicking off its Summer of Soccer initiative beneath the Gateway Arch. Kids played free soccer activities while fans watched Mexico take on South Africa in the tournament's first match. City President and GM Diego Gigliani says Thursday was the start of 40 straight days of soccer throughout the region.
Today is a huge day for soccer in the world, for soccer fans, and of course for the city. It is also the first day of our Summer of Soccer program and the first day of 40 days of soccer. And here we are celebrating, bringing the community out to play soccer.
City SC plans to host events at locations across the St. Louis area through the World Cup final. You can find out more at summerofsoccerstl.com. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
Well, yesterday in New York, the Cardinals wrapping up a series and looking for a 7-game winning streak. Alec Burleson got the Birds off on the right foot. We hit with 2 outs in the first.
Get the feeling that the offense today is going to be as easy as it's been the last couple of days against this particular pitcher who's been red hot lately.
There's a long one to right field, and it's long gone. That's a second level shot for Burleson. 1-0 Cardinals. You were saying?
For Burleson, his 3rd home run in the series, and he becomes the first Cardinal to homer in all 3 games in a series in New York against the Mets, period. It also extended his hitting streak to 11 games. The Mets hit a pair in the bottom of the first inning, and they have a 3-2 lead. But the long balls continued. It's Lars Nootbaar now in the 2nd inning.
But the Mets came back with 2 home runs and scored 3 off Hunter Dobbins. There's a drive, deep right field. Nootbaar has just hit a home run, and that goes past the 2nd level. That was a tape measure shot, and the Cardinals are down by a run.
445-foot shot by Nootbaar, tied for the longest home run this season at Citi Field. After a Mason Wynn double, it's Jimmy Crooks' turn.
Before a touchdown in foul territory. And there's a long drive, deep right field. Jimmy Crooks has just hit a home run. That's a goner. A 2-run shot for Crooks. His 2nd big league home run. His first came last year in Cincinnati. And the Cardinals go back in front.
Hunter Dobbins made his 2nd start of the year for the Cardinals. He worked into the 5th inning.
4-3 Cardinals, the wind and the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. He threw that one by the batter Alvarez. That pitch at 95 miles an hour, and it was strikeout number 4 for Dobbins.
Justin Brule took over with 1 out in the 5th. He surrenders back-to-back hits to tie the game. George Soriano got out of the inning. Soriano then pitched a scoreless 6th inning and turned it over to Jojo Romero in the 7th. After he retired the first 2 hitters, Romero faced Juan Soto with 2 outs.
The 1-2 pitch coming up to Juan Soto, and that is hit high and deep to right field. Backing up is Walker, looking up, and it's gone. Into the Cardinals bullpen. A hanging 1-2 slider from Jojo Romero, and Soto has just hit his 14th home run of the year, and the Mets have a 5-4 lead.
That's how it finished. The Cards' winning streak snapped at 6 as the Mets salvage a game from the series. The Cardinals move on to Minnesota, where they'll start a 3-game set with the Twins tonight at Target Field. Kyle Leahy makes the start for the Redbirds. It's a 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 6:15. Next sports update is 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Here's a World Soccer Championship recap.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Mexico gained an early edge in Group A with a dominant 2-0 win over South Africa in an unusual match featuring 3 red cards. Mexico scored 9 minutes in and never looked back, overwhelming their opponent with a 16-3 edge in shots. I'm Mike Conti.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just 1 visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's see how things are moving on this Friday morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no complaints on the interstates right now, Megan. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Everything's good to go. 55 coming up from Festus through their stretch north of Richardson up to the Merrimack looks good. 278 Ladue, both ways, no issues. Still downtown, we're okay. Westbound 55-64 coming through 3rd Street. I would expect to see some slow traffic soon. It hasn't happened yet, so that's great. It looks great across the bridges downtown out west 70, Warrenton, Wentzville area, and those construction areas. Everything's light and on the go. And at West Linda Lane, we have it turns out it's a minor accident. That's off north of 30 in the Lomedale area, so I don't think there's much in the way of restrictions or issues getting around that one either so far. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
It is going to be a really beautiful day today. So after maybe you slept through it, I don't know, or maybe you didn't sleep at all because those storms are pretty rough. But as promised, they pushed the hot temperatures out. So our heat wave is done for now. Mostly sunny, less humid today, a high of 85. Tomorrow's high 82 with the possibility of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Sunday's high 78 with a thunderstorm giving way to sunshine at 68 right now and mostly sunny.
It was a tense few hours at Six Flags St. Louis last night when 4 guests got stranded halfway up the 236-foot Sky Screamer ride. Firefighters brought them all down safely, no injuries, just before storms moved in. We've told you about how the rescue happened. Now the view from inside the park. KMOX's Michael Calhoun spoke with Six Flags St. Louis spokeswoman Elizabeth Gotway last night.
It sounds like everything worked as it should have in a situation like this.
It did. It went really well. I mean, obviously, you always expect the very best, but you have to plan for when things don't go perfectly. And, that's what we train for. That's the procedures we have in place. And part of that is working really closely with first responders. And they come in and they train rescues on our rides. And they've been doing it for decades. And we haven't had to use those. But because of that, everything went very smoothly tonight. And we're so thankful to them for that.
Yeah, he said he could not recall a situation like this. I can't either. Is this the first time there's had to be a rescue like this at the park?
It is. Our maintenance team, when we have a situation like this, just like tonight, they have multiple things that they can do, reset the ride. And then they have a couple of different ways they can manually lower the ride. Tonight, for some reason, those just weren't working. They could have worked at it a little longer, but we knew we had the storm coming in, and we didn't want to get so close to that we weren't giving first responders time if we needed them. So we just made that call tonight that we needed to bring them in. All of our rides, when we build them, when we put them in, there's always a fail-safe plan on them what if they stop and we have to get people off? That is there before you ever open a new ride. When it's built, you know ahead of time, and this ride, this is how we would get people off in a situation if we needed to. So we're always prepared for that. We train every year. We have protocol for that. We have drills, and you have to, right? You have to have a plan for that. Just like tonight, to be able to get guests down, unloaded, and safe.
How was the family? What was it like? What were they like when rescuers got there? It sounded like they stayed calm.
They were very calm, and they were very gracious. They really, really were. They stayed calm through the whole thing. One of our maintenance team members had actually climbed up to the top and was up there with them, talking to them and letting them know like what was going on, what was going to happen next, that the fire department had been called. And so he stayed up there the whole time. And actually, when the kids came down first, and our maintenance guy climbed down and went to go check on the kids because he told the mom he would go check on the kids. So we had somebody with them up there, making sure that they were being communicated with and knew what was going on and could ask questions if they had them. And like I said, they were very gracious. They were wonderful people. They were on vacation, and they did really great.
That employee, oh my gosh, the bravery to climb up there.
So it's one of our maintenance guys, and he's climbed that multiple times. They work on that ride. They're used to it. That's also helpful, when first responders get here, if we've got somebody that can tell them, like, here's how you get up there, here's where you tie off, all of those things. And those guys know that ride inside and out. So, it's sort of not a big deal to them. I will tell you, it's not where I would have wanted to have been tonight up on that, but heights are not my cup of tea. But yeah, he went up and stayed with them. And, then when the kids came down, he came down and went and checked on the kids. So, but that's part of it. That's part of the process that we train for, is making sure that there's someone there that's going to go and talk to guests if they're, if a ride stops on a lift hill, somebody goes and talks to them and says, hey, here's what's going on, and we're going to restart this. And, you don't want people just sitting wondering what's going on, or is there something really serious going on. You want them to know, like, everything's okay. You're safe. You're secure. Here's what we're going to do to get you down.
That is Michael Calhoun speaking with Six Flags St. Louis spokeswoman Elizabeth Gotway. It is now 6:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today.
Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this weekend at the St. Charles Convention Center. Over 25 American-made units on display. Immediate delivery and financing available. For more info, call 1-800-SPA-SALE.
At 6:30, we have sunny skies, 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and here's Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've got a couple of crashes on Highway N, different Highway Ns, though. The one I've been mentioning in Franklin County and at West Linda Lane, north of 30 out in Londale, that's one. And then they called out EMS for a crash in St. Charles County on Highway N at Duello Road. They also had to call out, I don't see it yet, but there's a report of a crash. I'm looking into the sun, eastbound 270 east of Lindbergh. They called out EMS there, but right now traffic looks okay through that area, and traffic looks okay really pretty much through every area with one exception. We're finally starting to see some slow traffic downtown now, westbound 64 or 55-64 technically, from the 70 split to 3rd Street right near the King Bridge where you lose those right lanes due to roadwork, so it is getting heavy there. But the other construction zones, I'm not seeing any delays, lighter volume in general on a Friday morning. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it's going to be mostly sunny and pleasant, cooler and less humid, a high of 85, partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 68. Again, sunshine 70 downtown at the Arch.
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe says there are federal protections to prevent Amendment 5, which will be on the August ballot, from offsetting the income tax by taxing of medical care. How broad are those protections?
There's no federal law that would specifically prevent such taxation.
Not very broad, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. He says it becomes a gray area when it pertains to Medicare and Medicaid.
If the legislature in Missouri specifically focused taxation on certain types of medical services, that might run afoul of Medicare, Medicaid guidelines. And it could present problems.
Young says he believes a blanket tax on all doctor services could be allowed under federal law. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The impact of last year's May 16th tornado estimated to be around $1.5 billion. During a hearing last week, money from the Rams Settlement Fund allotted to specific areas on the north side and downtown from that fund.
Residents were quick to voice their opinions, which Mayor Kara Spencer says she heard and is trying to address.
There is no funding source that we currently have that could possibly address all those needs. There's also no funding source that we have that can address all the needs of the water department or all the needs of the 50/50 sidewalk program or the streets program. We don't have the funds available to address all the needs of the city of St. Louis.
Spencer says she and other Missouri lawmakers continue pushing for help from the federal government. She says they're requesting $1.5 million worth of aid, since that's what other cities have received in assistance for disasters on a similar scale.
Developer Brian Hayden says he remains deeply optimistic about downtown St. Louis's trajectory. That's despite another of his apartment buildings heading toward receivership after defaulting on the loan for the 82-unit Gallery 1014 building on Locust. The Business Journal reports the building was listed for sale in March. That makes 3 of Hayden's downtown properties that have been placed in receivership in less than a year.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Stick around because we've got your Money Minute coming up, and we'll get you the latest on your weekend weather after a very stormy night. It's 6:33.
Before a nation, there was an idea. Before freedom, there was a sacrifice. This year, KMOX marks America's 250th birthday. Step into history with John Hancock and Michael Kelley, Sunday mornings at 8, as they pull you into the moment where everything was on the line. This is the sound of a nation being born. Celebrate America, 250 years strong, with Hancock and Kelley, Sunday mornings at 8, only on KMOX.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Staying healthy may soon cost workers more. Many companies plan to charge more for employee health plans next year. Soaring drug prices are driving up insurance costs. According to a survey from benefits consultant Mercer, 2/3 of large companies expect to raise monthly premiums for health coverage through paycheck deductions next year. And about half of employers say they will make other changes, such as raising deductibles and copays. SpaceX's initial public offering will likely determine the course of much of the trading day. Ahead of that, stock futures are looking at solid gains this Friday. Expectations that a deal between the U.S. and Iran is near is boosting sentiment. And DoorDash has introduced an in-app artificial intelligence chatbot to help customers make restaurant and grocery orders. Users can launch the new Ask DoorDash tool via the Ask button in the app search bar, where they can interact with the chatbot. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, let's talk about your eyes for a moment. They're very important, and you probably don't think about them very often, because why would you until something goes wrong? The important thing is to make sure that you address issues with your eyes before things go wrong. And the best way to do that is to get regular eye examinations. And that is a lot more than just reading the eye chart. And when you go to Ophthalmology Associates, you will read the eye chart, but so much more. The doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer. You can make an appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. It'll be the most thorough eye exam you've probably ever had. I actually really enjoy the experience, and they caught several things that I was completely unaware of, and now we've addressed them, and it's all good. So again, early detection is key, whether it's cataracts, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, dry eye, which is what I have, dry eye disease, allergic conjunctivitis. They do LASIK surgery. And yes, you can get your glasses and contacts and so much more. It's Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Mizzou football will be here before you know it. Join us for the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium with season tickets. Join the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist and get ready to lock in tickets for 2026. The home schedule is highlighted by games against Florida, Texas A&M, Texas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Don't wait to reserve your spot. Join the waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs.
They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Headlines now. Optimism from President Trump saying a new peace agreement with Iran could be signed as soon as this weekend. He says discussions and final points have been in both concept and great detail, been approved by all parties involved. ABC reports when President Trump posted about the approval by all parties involved, he listed several countries. Iran was not on the list. The Iranian Foreign Ministry says Iran has not reached a final conclusion.
It is now increasingly likely that the authorization for a key intelligence tool will expire at the end of the day today. Members of both the House and Senate expected to leave town after each failed to pass a reauthorization for Section 702 of FISA. That is what allows the collection of communications of people who are not American citizens and are located outside the U.S.
It's now 6:40. Let's see what it looks like on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I finally got a look at that crash in North County, Megan. This traffic reports service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. It is eastbound 270 to East Lindbergh. Car hit the guardrail there. It's really just the right through lane that's blocked. But if you're coming on from Lindbergh eastbound 270, you have to shuttle over into the traffic pretty quickly because those ramp-on lanes are blocked at the end of the ramp. But again, light enough traffic that it's not causing any problems at this time. And one of our KMOX commuters called in just a few minutes ago and confirmed that as well. So right side, but traffic seems to be getting by okay. Downtown, westbound 64 starting to back up from that 70 split to 3rd Street. Want to talk about a USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. You have options, especially if you're north of downtown. You can take the McKinley Bridge, but the Mutual Veterans Bridge has never backed up in the morning. So especially 55, 70 drivers, if you can scoot over and take that, you avoid sitting in that traffic on 64 trying to get through 3rd Street. Other than that, it's a little slow. The right lane's north 55 through Mattis, and then end at Dwello Road in St. Charles County. We have that accident with lane blockage. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for their 26-point tune-up. It's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 6:41, and what a difference a few hours make. Looking out the windows here of Studio B, I see nothing but blue skies and sunshine. Let's get the weekend forecast from our AccuWeather meteorologist, Heather Zare.
Yeah, and just about 12 hours ago, it was storming across the area. We're going to continue to have much nicer weather now for today. That sunshine you're talking about is going to stick around all day, and it's going to be cooler and less humid as we top out at 85 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68, not a bad night at all. And then we'll have clouds and sun tomorrow with a high of 82. A little more humid again in the afternoon with a thunderstorm around, and we'll continue to have a thunderstorm chance for tomorrow night and even into Sunday morning. But then it turns out partly sunny and more comfortable again Sunday afternoon, including with a high of 78 degrees. And we'll stay in the upper 70s with some sun on Monday, a fairly low humidity through that time as well. Heading into Tuesday, clouds and sun with a high of 81. 66 in St. Peter's right now, 69 in Florissant, and 70 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The U.S. opens its run in the World Cup coming up tonight. I've got details coming up in sports.
More news, though, at 6:43. Security will be strict this weekend for the UFC Freedom 250 event on the South Lawn of the White House. The fight is Sunday, but there are events all weekend. The UFC Fan Fest and Watch Party on the Ellipse is free. Tickets are required. Fans will have to pass through TSA-like screening.
The actual UFC fight in the White House Octagon is an invitation-only event that'll feature some 4,000 guests. ABC News contributor John Cohen says this is as high profile an event as it can get, and there are so many levels of security that the public might not even see them all.
Officials are going to be very concerned about a potential for a cyber attack. I mean, think about it. If you're a foreign intelligence service and you want to embarrass the United States, undermine confidence in the U.S. government, or cause chaos, you would hack into the Jumbotron and have an AI-generated video of a senior official making some type of false statement.
Female clergy in the Southern Baptist Convention speaking out following this week's vote at the denomination's annual meeting to advance a measure that would ban the practice. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
On Wednesday, nearly 3 out of every 4 delegates attending the Southern Baptist Convention's annual national meeting in Florida voted to advance a formal ban on women pastors. The amendment would tighten existing restrictions in the SBC, which already has a faith statement opposing women pastors. The Reverend Meredith Stone is executive director of Baptist Women in Ministry.
As they continue to have these votes surrounding women in ministry, it communicates to millions of women and girls within the Southern Baptist Convention that their value to the church is limited.
Before becoming church law, the measure must pass with a 2/3 majority vote at next year's national gathering. While the Southern Baptist Convention cannot tell its self-governing churches what to do, it does have the power to expel churches from SBC membership, declaring them not in friendly cooperation. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Who's Hot? Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories. Alec Burleson opened the scoring yesterday as the Redbirds wrapped up a series against the Mets in New York.
Get the feeling that offense today is not going to be as easy as it's been the last couple of days against this particular pitcher who's been red hot lately.
There's a long one to right field, and it's long gone. That's a second level shot for Burleson. 1-0 Cardinals. You were saying?
Burleson homered in each of the 3 games in the series, and he became the first Cardinal ever to do that against the Mets in New York in a 3 or 4 game series. The home run extended Burleson's hitting streak to 11 games, and he's hitting .356 during the streak. He's got 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. In 9 games in the month of June, Burleson has a 1.123 OPS. And Burley wasn't the only Cardinal bashing the ball yesterday. Cards manager Oliver Marble likes what he's seeing out of his offense. That offense now includes Lars Nootbaar again. And Nootbaar crushed a ball yesterday.
He hit it a long ways. That was a really good swing against a good arm. Burleson, same thing. I like what Crooks was able to do today. So, yeah, up and down our lineup, I like the overall being aggressive in the zone, which is awesome.
That audio courtesy of Cardinals TV. Tonight, the Redbirds start a series in Minnesota. Kyle Leahy gets the ball for the Cardinals. It's a 7:10 first pitch, 6:15 with our pregame coverage. The 2026 World Cup is underway. It kicked off with a pair of Group A games yesterday in Mexico. Mexico picked up a 2-0 win over South Africa in Mexico City, while Korea picked up a 2-1 victory over Czechia in Guadalajara. Today, the other 2 hosts get their first games of the tournament. Canada will play host to Bosnia-Herzegovina in a Group B game. That's at 2 o'clock this afternoon in Toronto. And then the U.S. faces Paraguay in a Group D game in Los Angeles. That is an 8 o'clock start tonight. The U.S. is captained by St. Louis and Tim Ream. He, at age 38, will become the oldest player to appear in a World Cup game for the United States.
Gostisbehere take the drop back and takes off with the puck. Aho. It comes back. Ehlers, beautiful pass, and they score! Another power play goal for Svechnikov.
That's Sean McDonough on ESPN last night. Andriy Svechnikov scored twice, and Carolina picked up a 4-2 win in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Hurricanes now a win away from the Cup. It would be their first since 2006. Game 6 is Sunday night, in Las Vegas. NBA Finals Game 5 is tomorrow night in San Antonio. The Knicks lead that series 3-1. Next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infinity QX65. The USA takes on a tricky but injury-plagued Paraguay team in Los Angeles to open play in Group D. The USA looked improved in pre-tournament friendlies against Senegal and Germany, but now faces World Cup pressure for the first time. Paraguay is in the tournament for the first time in 16 years. They made a run to the quarterfinals in their last appearance in 2010. I'm Mike Conti.
St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Tom Ackerman for St. Louis Composting. I've been a customer for the last couple of years. We had mulch delivered to our home earlier this spring. It's already been spread. Now's the perfect time for that. The perfect time to refresh your entire landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It is the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. St. Louis Composting has 9 retail locations all over the area. I didn't realize that when I first started talking about them. 9 locations all over the area, so there's one close to you. But you know what we did? We had the mulch delivered. You can just go to stlcompost.com. You can pick out the type of mulch you want. You can use their material calculator to figure out how much soil or mulch your project requires, and then they'll bring it to your home. STLcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
Grab your shades, your float trip gear, and join us June 17th for Chris and Amy Day at Busch Stadium.
We'll be broadcasting live from the Mississippi Yacht Club pop-up bar outside Gate 1, hanging with fans and serving up some fun behind the bar.
Live music, Fred Bird special guests will all be there. Plenty of chances to stop by and say hello.
Plus, you can sit with fellow Chris and Amy listeners in our special section for just $15.
June 17th.
Chris and Amy Day at the ballpark. $15 tickets.
Get your tickets now. Cardinals.com/Chris and Amy.
Go Cards.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
6:50. Let's see how things are rolling this morning on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no real complaints out there for the most part, Megan. It's a pretty easygoing morning for pretty much everybody. The only place we really have any significant delays are downtown on westbound 64 backed up right as you get through that 70 merge point to 3rd Street. It's a pretty solid jam. It hasn't backed up on the 5570 yet, though, but I'm sure it probably will. And they're still working this crash in North County on eastbound 270 passing Lindbergh. The right lane's blocked, but it's not bothering anybody. I actually see a little slowdown westbound 270 at the 170 ramp on the other side. This traffic report is the service at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Out to the west, we still look okay. Southbound 61, great shape coming down from Highway P onto 64 or 70. No issues there. The ramp south 170 onto eastbound 64 is still a little busy in Richmond Heights. North 55 coming up across the Merrimack from 141 and 270. Just a little busy approaching Clayton Road, but that's about the worst of it for you there. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is going to be mostly sunny, less humid, and 85 degrees. 68 overnight, and then tomorrow 82 will be the high with a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Sunday's high 78. It's 69 and sunny right now.
The news continues at 6:52. Circus Flora currently celebrating its 40th season under the Big Top and Grand Center, but its former board president is headed to prison. 63-year-old George Pace of Ladue sentenced to 22 months in federal prison for embezzling more than $123,000 from the St. Louis nonprofit. He pleaded guilty in January to using Circus Flora credit cards that he obtained without the organization's knowledge for personal expenses and diverting donor checks into his own account. Meanwhile, Circus Flora's Flying High show runs through June 21st.
Why the drop? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. Fewer women are being screened for breast cancer these days. ABC News correspondent Olivia Rubin tells us why that may be.
A new study looked at 20 years of CDC data for more than 2 million women. Overall, mammogram rates did not significantly change, but among women in their 40s, screening fell from about 70% to just under 60%. The largest declines seen in higher risk groups, including women without insurance, smokers, and those without a regular doctor. After a major screening guideline change in 2009, rates dropped even more in some groups, including white, Asian, and uninsured women. However, rates among Black women remain stable. Researchers say both access to care and changing screening decisions are contributing to these trends. With breast cancer on the rise in women under 50, experts call for regular screening that start at age 40 and a mammogram every 2 years until age 74.
With 60 seconds to better health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
Jeff Tegetoff says reports of his removal from the Oasis development at Lake of the Ozarks are contractually incorrect, in his words. In a statement, he says his company's bankruptcy filing is a strategic reorganization, and he remains a named developer on the hotel and water park portions of the project.
He's pointing the finger at partner Fred Ross, saying Ross blocked him from the project operations and demanded Tegetoff alone cover cost overruns. Neither side is fully documented. He says he wants back in and that cutting him out hurts every investor who's bought into the project.
The Missouri Department of Conservation adding floating wetlands to the city of Rolla's Burwan Lake. The Department of Conservation says the lake has been recently experiencing excessive algae blooms that can impact water quality and outdoor recreation.
The wetlands will filter sediment and contaminants from stormwater entering the lake. It will also eat excess nutrients that, if left unchecked, could lead to excessive algae blooms. 6 floating wetlands were added to the lake yesterday. 3 more will be added next year, a final trio placed in 2028.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Celebrity birthdays for this Friday, June 12th include blues musician Kenny Wayne Shepherd. He's 49 years old today. Actor Dave Franco, 41. And country musician Chris Young is 41.
Local celebrity birthdays include Joanne Cleveland from the Life Group, Logan McMahon. Happy 55th anniversary to Joanne and Bob Hoffman of Belleville. Kyle McClellan is celebrating today, and so is Vivi Buckheit, who turns 2 today. That's from the Spring family.
This is the best birthday ever.
The legendary Fast Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bon Air and St. Louis baseball legend Jason Isringhausen.
Izzy, what's going on, man? Hey, you know what, Eddie boy, I've been pretty busy. Got to get out there and got to do the mowing. Yep, I'll tell you what, when you get done mowing the grass. Well, I do my best Forrest Gump impression with all that mowing I have to do around the property. Do it for St. Louis, do it. Like Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, except at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. What are we going to get at Fast Eddie's? Let me get it right. You can come on over to Fast Eddie's Bar Bon Air, located on the other side of Clark Bridge in beautiful Alton, Illinois. When you're done mowing the grass, come over here and lounge around with me on the beautiful outdoor patio with all the big screens, the live music playing, the hot chick on a stick. What about that fancy surf and turf you came up with? Man, I'm telling you what, that is meat and seafood on one stick. And it's called the Eddie. It's the king of all foods. Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, come on over to that Clark Bridge and come see Fast Eddie's Bon Air in beautiful Alton, Illinois.
It's time to slide into a deal with Seidenstrucker Nobe Partners. Right now, catch 0% financing for 84 months on a John Deere 1025R compact tractor package for as low as $269 a month. This one machine is built to do it all. Mow, move, dig, and clear with ease. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th. Slide into a deal today at Seidenstrucker Nobe Partners, snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 6/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
Santana Oneness Tour 2026. The power, the energy. Come celebrate your favorite hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and beyond with very special guest, the Doobie Brothers. Saturday, June 20th, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. On sale now at livenation.com. Santana and Doobie Brothers, Oneness Tour 2026.
Let's try to get you to work safely this morning. Roger Brand watching out for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's not bad out there, Megan. They're still working this crash, but really they're just blocking the ramp-on lane from Lindbergh to eastbound 270 right now in North County, so the through lanes are okay through there. I'm still seeing a little delay westbound 270 at the south 170 ramp. Don't see a problem currently, but it's just a little slow there. And, of course, on the Illinois side, we do have this jam westbound 64 from the 70 split through to the work zone at 3rd Street. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday. It is June the 12th. I'm Debbie Monterrey. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer signing a bill to raise city civil service employee wages. We'll find out how much they are in the next hour.
I'm Megan Lynch. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe says there are federal protections to prevent Missouri's Amendment 5 from offsetting the income tax with a tax on medical care. We'll ask how broad those protections really are.
A dramatic rescue at Six Flags in Eureka.
Getting the crane ready. We're going for the kids first.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I'm Joe Pott. Cards open a new series tonight, and the World Cup kicks off for the U.S. I'll tell you more straight ahead in
This
sports.
is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Cooler and less humid today with sunshine, high 85.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. SpaceX hits the NASDAQ today. Money raised at its IPO, estimated to be $75 billion, so it would become the largest public offering in history. The stock sale also expected to make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Powerful storms leaving 500,000 customers without power in several states.
In Wisconsin, fallen trees and utility poles littering the roads. In Iowa, torrential rain swamping communities, with some areas seeing more than 3 inches in a single day. The downpours stretching all the way to Pennsylvania. Forecasters say the combination of high heat and humidity is helping fuel these storms. Feels like temperatures could top 100 degrees today along parts of the East Coast.
That's ABC's Sophie Flay. Hours before he threatened to escalate the war by bombing Iran and taking over its oil facility, President Trump is now calling off new military strikes and claiming a breakthrough in negotiations to end the war. Iran is disputing that. This is ABC News. A massive fire destroying a warehouse complex in Tracy, California. Huge plumes of black smoke sent billowing into the air, prompting air quality concerns, but there were no injuries. A lawsuit has been filed against investigators who wrongly accused a man of a crime he didn't commit because of an AI program. It identified him from surveillance footage. Robert Dillon from Lee County, Florida, was arrested in 2024, says ABC's Andrea Fujii.
Dillon was accused of trying to lure a young child at a restaurant in Jacksonville Beach, 300 miles away. An investigator there submitted surveillance photos of the suspect to an AI facial recognition program, which found a 93% match to Dillon. The only other evidence, a witness who picked Dillon's photo out of a lineup.
Dillon says he's never even been to Jacksonville, says it took a year to get his record cleaned up. U.S. men's team making its World Cup debut against Paraguay in the group stage tonight in Southern California. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, we have sunny skies, 68 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, June 12th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer signing a bill to raise city civil service employee wages by at least 3%. Board Bill 12 raises the minimum pay ranges to be within 5% of the regional market, something Spencer said is necessary to make city jobs competitive and desirable. Spencer said the increases were a challenge to balance with the Board of Police Commissioners' proposed raises.
Our departments don't operate as in a silo, and unfortunately, the state-controlled police board has been operating largely in a siloed capacity, and I think that is a very huge disservice to the residents, the city as a whole, and certainly to our other departments that need that collaboration, that coordination, including how we compensate and pay our workforce.
Excluding the police department, Spencer says 1,041 of the city's full-time city civil service positions are now vacant, which is a little more than a quarter of the number of total positions.
In August, Missouri voters will decide an amendment which will eliminate the income tax and could raise other existing taxes. Are physicians justified in their concerns that medical care could be taxed.
Despite Governor Mike Kehoe saying he does not support taxing medical care, there is nothing that stops it in the law, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. He says the biggest limitation is that any new tax must be with the intention of offsetting the income tax.
There is some limitations built in to Amendment 5 that specifies that it has to be for a particular purpose, which includes reducing the state income tax.
Young says those taxes would be exempt from the Hancock Amendment, which requires a vote of the people before raising or creating new taxes if ratified within the first 5 years of Amendment 5 passing. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri could run out of money by July of next year if the state government doesn't stop spending more money than it earns. That's according to a report released this week by State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick, who tells MissouriNet the state is on track to spend $2 billion more than it collects in revenue.
We've been funding extreme deficit spending for the last few fiscal years from a fund balance that had accrued during the COVID years where a lot of money was coming in. And we are nearing the point where that money is going to run out.
He recommends Governor Kehoe veto portions of the state budget along with any other bills that have a high price tag. A spokesperson for the governor says a thorough review of the next state budget is underway.
Developer Brian Hayden says he remains deeply optimistic about downtown St. Louis's trajectory, despite another of his apartment buildings heading toward receivership after defaulting on the loan. That's for the 82-unit Gallery 1014 building on Locust. The Business Journal reports the building was listed for sale in March. That makes 3 of Hayden's downtown properties that have been placed in receivership in less than a year.
Speaking of apartments, Ladue residents came out swinging Wednesday against a plan to build apartments and homes along Deer Creek. A Creve Coeur developer wants to put a 235-unit luxury apartment complex, the first in Ladue, plus dozens of homes and villas on a 50-acre industrial site near McKnight and Litzinger.
Neighbors say the area already floods badly enough that some have had to be rescued from their homes. McKnight is already backed up nearly a mile at rush hour, they say. The developer says a $10 to $15 million creek overhaul would improve drainage. The Post-Dispatch reports the Planning Commission did not vote and will take a closer look at the plan.
The new St. Louis County Chief of Police tells KMOX it's time to hold kids accountable for the chaos at teen takeovers. Speaking on Total Information AM, Chief Juan Cox adds many times parents are not in the picture.
This grandma who may be 70, 80 years old, raising a 8, 10, 12, 15-year-old kid, and it's a lot of pressure on her, and she's already raised her kids, but we are seeing definitely a lack of parenting.
Cox says these teen takeovers are the biggest issue facing law enforcement in the region right now.
Last night's rescue at Six Flags St. Louis is the kind of thing crews almost never have to pull off. 4 guests became stranded halfway up the 236-foot Sky Screamer swing ride. It took fire departments from across St. Louis County along with a crane to bring them down.
The basket is on the ground, and the 2 victims are coming out.
Eureka Fire Chief Scott Barthelmess tells KMOX.
You don't see this. You don't see a high angle. You don't see a tower rescue very often anywhere in the county.
But his crews were ready because they'd rehearsed almost exactly this scenario.
We actually practiced this rescue not too long ago with with personnel actually lowering people down with ropes and everything.
All 4 riders were safe with no injuries. We'll have the full interview coming up at 7:22.
I'm Michael Calhoun. The fire chief just told you how first responders train for rescues like this. Six Flags says its own planning starts even earlier before a single rider even climbs aboard. Park spokeswoman Elizabeth Gotway.
All of our rides, when we build them, when we put them in, there's always a fail-safe plan on them. What if they stop and we have to get people off? That is there before you ever open a new ride.
Gotway says the park drills these scenarios every year with local firefighters, the same crews that come out to train at Six Flags, using rides like Thunder River for things like swiftwater rescue. She says before firefighters even arrived, a maintenance worker familiar with the ride climbed it to keep the family company and tell them what was going on. And she confirms to KMOX that last night was the first rescue of its kind in the park's history.
It is 7:08. Traffic and weather are next on Total Information AM.
The smartest way to do your homework is Heckman Lumber.
Thinking about building a new deck? Start with the trained professionals at Hackman Lumber, home of one of the largest inventories of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. From treated lumber and cedar to all the leading names in decking, their team will help you choose the perfect materials for your dream deck. Then finish it off with endless railing options, balusters, and LED deck lighting to bring your backyard to life. Hackman Lumber will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Do it yourself? Their team is ready to help. Also, check out their expanded paint department with custom color matching. And don't forget, follow Hackman Lumber on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to catch weekly deals, specials, and project inspiration all season long. Or visit us at hackmanstl.com. Locations in St. Peters, Troy, and Pacific, Missouri.
The Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale are coming to the Family Arena for one magical night of country and Christmas, December 17th. It's the Gatlin Brothers Farewell Tour, and Crystal Gale is joining them to celebrate an evening of country's greatest hits and beautiful Christmas music. Don't miss the Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale. Tickets are available at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
Mickey Dolenz, 60 years of the Monkees. One night celebrating the music from their hit TV show, The Monkees, and a generation of adoring fans. Friday, November 13th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. All the biggest hits and intimate stories from the groundbreaking hit show. Mickey Dolenz. On sale at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Well, Friday mornings are typically pretty quiet. Let's see how things are rolling right now on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news in North County, Megan. They cleared that crash at the ramp from Lindbergh to eastbound 270. Never really was much of a traffic issue, so things are back on the go there. We have a little slowdown where they sent EMS for a crash westbound 70 on the Blanchette Bridge. There's some heavy traffic approaching the bridge. I can't really see right now if there's any lane blocked or not, but if it is, it's at the east end of the bridge as you come westbound, so just to get on it. But again, there's some heavy traffic approaching the bridge right now on westbound 70. Eastbound 70 is great coming the other way. In fact, it looks great coming in from Warrenton, southbound 61 onto 70 or 64. Take your pick. They're both good to go. All the highways are good to go on the Missouri side. I'm not seeing delays on interstates anywhere on our side of the river. On the Illinois side of the river, you have not quite a jam like it was, but it's still pretty heavy. Westbound 64 backing up as you ramp through past the 70 interchange on westbound 55, 64 over to the construction zone at 3rd Street. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:11, taking a look at the forecast. Mostly sunny today, cooler and less humid. Those storms absolutely push the heat wave out for this forecast, at least the next 5 days. 85 degrees today, partly cloudy, and 68 overnight. Tomorrow we'll see clouds and sun. It'll get a little more humid again. We'll have a thunderstorm in the afternoon and a high of 82. For Sunday, clouds and a thunderstorm giving way to sunshine and a high of 78. On Monday, partly sunny and 78 degrees. Right now, we've got sun downtown. It is 69.
I'm Joe Pott. Cardinals flexing a little muscle yesterday in New York. I've got those highlights coming up.
And the weather comes to you from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. In the news this morning, an Alton 18-year-old is sentenced to 35 years in jail for a shooting that killed an innocent 13-year-old bystander. Vito Crowder is one of 5 defendants charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of Rania Stewart. She was standing on the front porch when she was hit by gunfire in February of 2024. She died 10 days later. According to testimony, Crowder and one of his co-defendants fired shots at the porch after they were told members of a rival gang were in the area.
A man already facing charges for smashing windows at Steve's Hot Dogs on South Grand has now been charged for doing the same thing at the gin room down the street. 27-year-old Nicholas Owens accused of breaking 2 windows at the South Grand bar on June 4th. A witness pointed police in his direction. The whole thing was caught on surveillance video. Owens is being held without bond.
If you plan to ride MetroLink, better have your phone or payment card ready. KMOX's Michael Calhoun explains.
Every time a crowd pours out of a Cardinals or City SC game, you'll see riders streaming onto Metrolink, and usually the mass of people just streams onto the platform. New gates are meant to change that, and they finally have a start date. Metro Transit flips on fare required access at the first 13 stations on July 6th. Talby Roach, who heads Metro's parent agency by State Development, has told KMOX that locking down the system should pay off.
Where we have done some of the piloting, what we have seen is an increase in revenue and ridership at those stations. So indeed, I do think, and I am optimistic, that with a secured system, not only do we have a better product, but we could see an increase in revenue. And we're going to fight for every dollar.
Roach says it comes down to stewarding taxpayer dollars across St. Louis County, and St. Clair County. The gates roll out in phases through August. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A Missouri department is warning World Cup fans to be cautious this weekend of heat. The Department of Health and Senior Services warning fans that large outdoor gatherings, including fan fest events, watch parties, and celebrations place more people at risk of heat exhaustion or heat stroke. The department reminding visitors and residents that cooling centers across Missouri are available for anyone needing a safe, air-conditioned place to cool down. You can find those locations with hours at DHSS's Cooling Centers map.
What are your World Cup plans? Well, there are ways to take part in St. Louis, and our Jen Cease tells us more.
One goal of St. Louis City SC's Summer of Soccer initiative is introducing more young people to the beautiful game. Thursday's opening event beneath the Gateway Arch included kids from the Jackie Joyner Kersey Foundation. Program Director Giovanni Sykes says experiences like this can have an impact beyond sports.
At the Jackie Joyner Kersey Foundation, we believe exposure and winning in life come together. So if we expose the kids to different things, that they will become winners in life.
And for young participant Rayla, the day was all about having fun.
Kicking to get goals and having a desire to keep going and play with my teammates. Go Team USA!
City SC will host soccer activities and watch parties throughout the World Cup. Find out more at summerofsoccerstl.com. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
Yesterday, the Cardinals wrapped up a series in New York, looking to make it a 7-game winning streak. Alec Burleson got the Birds off on the right foot when he hit with 2 outs in the first.
Get the feeling that offense today is not going to be as easy as it's been the last couple of days against this particular pitcher who's been red hot lately.
There's a long one to right field, and it's long gone. That's a second level shot for Burleson. 1-0 Cardinals. You were saying?
That is our cut of the game. It's sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. For Burleson, his 3rd home run in this series, and he becomes the first Cardinal to homer in all 3 games in a series in New York against the Mets. Also extended his hitting streak to 11 games. The Mets hit a pair of home runs themselves in the first inning. That gave them a 3-2 lead. But the long balls continued, and it was Lars Nootbaar in the second inning.
But the Mets came back with 2 home runs and scored 3 off Hunter Dobbins. There's a drive, deep right field. Nootbaar has just hit a home run, and that goes past the second level. That was a tape measure shot, and the Cardinals are down by a run.
445 feet to be exact for Nootbaar. That's tied for the longest home run this season at Citi Field. After a Mason Wynn double, now it's Jimmy Crooks.
Before a touchdown in foul territory. And there's a long drive, deep right field. Jimmy Crooks has just hit a home run. That's a goner. A 2-run shot for Crooks. His second big league home run. His first came last year in Cincinnati. And the Cardinals go back in front.
Hunter Dobbins made his second start of the year for the Cards. He works into the 5th inning. Justin Brule took over with 1 out in the 5th and surrendered back-to-back hits. That ties the game before George Soriano gets out of the inning for the Cards. Soriano pitches a scoreless 6th inning and turns it over to JoJo Romero in the 7th. After retiring the first 2 hitters in the 7th, Romero faced Juan Soto with 2 outs.
The 1-2 pitch coming up to Juan Soto, and that is hit high and deep to right field. Backing up is Walker, looking up, and it's gone. Into the Cardinals bullpen. A hanging 1-2 slider from JoJo Romero, and Soto has just hit his 14th home run of the year, and the Mets have a 5-4 lead.
That's how it finished. The Cards' winning streak snapped at 6 as the Mets salvage a game from the series. The Cardinals move on to Minnesota, where they'll start a 3-game set with the Twins tonight at Target Field. It's a 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 6:15. Next sports update is 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Man, whenever I use a sports book, I feel like I'm just getting robbed blind.
Dude, you've got to delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket? How are they any different?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans just like you, not the house. That means more money for you and less for those greedy sports books.
For real?
Yep. Sports books take around $9 on a $100 position and then pay out around $500. Polymarket pays out $650 on that same position.
What's the catch?
No catch. Even better, it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident that you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code HEAT for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code HEAT for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code HEAT.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Now the news. At 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is now 7:20 and you are listening to Total Information AM. Time to get you updated on your ride in. You will need the sunglasses as you head out the door. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's getting worse on westbound 70, Debbie. Just temporarily, they have all lanes shut down on the Blanchette Bridge. This turns out to be a multi-car crash involving a motorcyclist. So they have all lanes just temporarily closed westbound 70 as you get on the Blanchette Bridge. So traffic's at a standstill right now. Back to Earth City, back to 141 on westbound 70. Again, nobody eastbound on 70 slowing for a look. Eastbound looks great coming in from as far west as Warrenton. Eastbound 64 looks great. If you're looking for an alternate route, 370, 364, they're all good to go. Southbound 61 coming down from Highway P, that's in good shape as well. And again, the rest of the interstates on the Missouri side, with that exception of 70 at the Blanchette, are in fine shape, no delays. And on the Illinois side, the only delays we have are westbound 64, bumper to bumper, Baugh Avenue, heavy congestion through 3rd Street into that construction zone. After that, it's a good run across the Poplar Musial Veterans Bridge, still wide open for you as an option nearby. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mostly sunny, pleasant today, cooler and less humid with a high of 85. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 68. And then tomorrow we're going to have a mix of clouds and sun, and it will be more humid again. Thunderstorms in the forecast as well tomorrow afternoon. Expect a high near 82. Right now we have sunshine, 68 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. 2 animals at the St. Louis Zoo were put down in the past week. On Wednesday, Mira, a 57-year-old Sumatran orangutan, was euthanized after receiving specialized care for multiple advanced health conditions. At the time of her passing, she was the second oldest Sumatran orangutan in North America and the mother of 5, grandmother of 2, and a great-grandmother of 1.
Last Friday, Jared, the 17-year-old male jaguar, was euthanized after weeks of battling kidney failure. Jared came to the St. Louis Zoo in 2015. He lived a longer life compared to most jaguars in the wild, who usually live between 10 and 15 years.
A dramatic rescue at Six Flags last night. A family was stuck on Sky Screamer. That's that swing ride. It's one of the tallest rides in the park. The 4 people were stranded from 5:30 until just after 8 p.m. KMOX's Michael Calhoun caught up with Eureka Fire Chief Scott Barthelmess right after the rescue was completed.
We were notified by Six Flags of 4 guests that were stuck on the top of the ride. The park typically is able to, they have countermeasures and the like in place. They had tried those. They then initiated their emergency response, which is through us and our mutual aid partners. We responded and have subsequently brought all 4 of the guests safely down to the ground. All first responders are also down on the ground now as well.
What kind of because I know Six Flags has a crane on site, but it sounded like that ropes were what saved the day here.
So actually the crane was used. Our secondary plan was we always want to have plan A, plan B, plan C. We actually set up the rope system just as well because we have that weather coming in. So if there was anything that did not work or there was an issue with the crane or we couldn't reach with the crane, we were already working on a second plan. But they were brought to the ground by the crane that Six Flags contracts with.
Okay, so the crane was used. Was it a basket or something, or how did they actually get down?
We two Eureka Fire personnel went up in the basket and then removed the guests from the swings up top and then brought them down 2 at a time.
Do you know what their mood was? How they were doing when the rescuers got up there?
They seemed to be. They were calm and collected. They worked well with the rescuers. We had already put before we got the crane up there. We put rescuers at the top of the tower, and they were in contact with them. They were actually just standing right next to me here at the scene. They've been evaluated by EMS and are fine.
Okay, I was going to ask about any kind of injuries or anything like that.
No injuries to the guests, no injuries to park personnel, no injuries to rescue personnel.
And did those personnel who went up first, kind of to reassure and assess the situation, did they have to climb up the ladder that's on that gigantic tower?
Yes, sir. They did, about 135 feet up.
This must be something that they really train for.
We do train. So Six Flags trains for it. They're very prepared. They always have mechanics and personnel and engineers on site. They have a very good plan in place. That plan includes us training here. We actually practiced this rescue not too long ago with with personnel actually lowering people down with ropes and everything there. So the park is always very proactive. We as first response agencies, work with them and we train for this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been, we've seen nationally at other parks, but it doesn't seem like there's been an incident like this at that park.
This is a very safe park, well run, very cooperative with first responders. Yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome, very happy with the cooperation we have with this park.
And then just in terms of the severe weather, it sounded like on the scanner it was, we've got to get this done before lightning becomes a potential issue.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's supposed to be here in about a half an hour. So yes. You know what? I think this demonstrates the importance of the mutual aid system. This demonstrates the importance of departments training together for unique rescues. You don't see this. You don't see a high angle. You don't see a tower rescue very often anywhere in the county. So everybody working together, chief officers down to firefighters and rescue technicians, and then side by side with park staff and park management.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty vast from Maplewood and Kirkwood all the way to Monarch and Metro West.
Correct. So there's rescue strike teams throughout the county that personnel train together because when you do have big events or unusual events, we train together so that there's adequate personnel here. And that's why, we used plan A, which was the crane, and we had plan B already rigged up top, and we were working on plan C because we wanted to make sure that they were down before this weather hit.
That is KMOX's Michael Calhoun speaking with Eureka Fire Chief Scott Barthelmess.
And this time check now sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. It's 7:27.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. CharityMobile.com. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It is now 7:30. We have sunshine in downtown St. Louis at 69 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. And let's check the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look?
Well, better now on westbound 70, Megan. Just about 2 minutes ago, they opened up all lanes on the Blanchette Bridge. There's still a jam west of 270 most of the way to the bridge westbound 70, but it ought to thin out pretty quickly, opposite direction of rush hour. I don't expect it to last too long. Eastbound 70 coming the other way, the bulk of the rush hour traffic going that way still looks great from Orange and all the way through the Blanchette. They weren't even slowing when that crash was out there. Southbound 61 down to 64 eastbound. That route looks great. North 270 is just a little slow now, passing 64 to Ladue in the construction. Otherwise, it looks great coming up from 55. 55 itself from Festus all the way into downtown, not seeing any issues. And again, just on the Illinois side, we have this backup really both ways now. The 64 eastbound is backed up coming into 5570 in the construction zone, and westbound 64 is solid jam from Ball Avenue past the 70 split on 64 into that work zone at 3rd Street. But it looks okay on 64 at 159 in Fairview Heights so far. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be a beautiful day today. And after those storms moved out last night, we have sunshine in store and less humidity today, a high of 85. Tomorrow's high 82 with humidity returning and the possibility of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. It's sunny and 70 right now.
More news now at 7:31. If Missouri voters approve Amendment 5 on the ballot in August that would phase out the income tax, some worry that the legislature could tax medical care and prescription drugs. However, would those taxes appear before voters for them to decide for themselves? Not if it happens shortly after Amendment 5 is passed. That's according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young.
For the first 5 years, Amendment 5 appears designated to allow the General Assembly to expand sales or use taxes to new services without triggering the usual Hancock voter approval requirement.
Young says there's nothing written in Amendment 5 or the law that would prevent Jefferson City from broadly taxing medical care.
Mayor Kara Spencer signed into law the city's first transportation plan that it's had in decades. It will prioritize transit vehicles at stoplights, develop a program to evaluate sidewalk conditions, and create a digital map displaying that data, and a lot more. Spencer says pedestrian fatalities are on the rise. 90 people killed between 2017 and 2021.
This is not just a matter of public safety, it's also a matter of equity. We know that minorities and elderly folks living in lower income populations and people with disabilities are much more likely to be killed or injured by traffic violence. This is not by chance, it's because of how our infrastructure has been built. This is a step in the right direction to address those challenges.
The former board president for Circus Flora headed to prison. 63-year-old George Pace of Ladue sentenced to 22 months in federal prison for embezzling more than $123,000 from the St. Louis nonprofit. He pleaded guilty in January to using Circus Flora credit cards that he obtained without the organization's knowledge for personal expenses and diverting donor checks into his own account. Circus Flora's Flying High show is on now through June 21st.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It is 7:34, and we'll get you updated on your money report coming up next.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. It's time for your money report now, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Steven Spielberg began writing his latest movie, Disclosure Day, in 2023 after The Fabelmans and West Side Story fell flat at the box office. Disclosure Day is projected to gross as much as $50 million in the U.S. and Canada this weekend. That would top Jurassic Park as the strongest opening performance of any film in Spielberg's career. Stock futures are pointing to more gains on Wall Street at the open. All eyes are on SpaceX's trading debut later today. Elon Musk's rocket, satellite, and artificial intelligence company is now among the top 10 public companies globally. And Goldman Sachs has cut its forecast for crude oil prices next year by $5 a barrel on higher supply and lower demand. The bank trimming its outlook for West Texas Intermediate to $75 a barrel for 2027. A combination of record U.S. exports and a sharp and unexpected slowdown in Chinese demand has helped absorb much of the supply shock. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the North Hall. Choose from over 25 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% on MSRP. Financing is available. For more info, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
City SC Summer of Soccer, presented by Purina, kicks off on Friday, June 12th with the biggest soccer celebration in St. Louis. This festival-style watch party on Lou Fuse Plaza at Energizer Park is free for all and open to the public. Show up at 5 p.m. for live music, local food and drink, giveaways, special appearances, and a live viewing of USA versus Paraguay on 5 massive screens. Learn more at summerofsoccerstl.com.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It is 7:40. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Megan Lynch and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, everything's back on track for westbound 70 drivers, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. It looks great coming through our city across the Blanchette. Now, like I said, it was opposite direction of rush hour flow. So, and Friday morning being lighter traffic, it didn't take long to clear that jam out. So you don't have any concerns there any longer. Northbound 270, a little slow at Gravois. There's a slowdown 44 up toward Big Bend, and then approaching Clayton Road. South 270, Olive down to Ladue. That's kind of slow in the work zone. Otherwise, on the Missouri side, these interstates continue to cruise. On the Illinois side, we've got this congestion right around the merge points with the interstates right there before you get to the Poplar Street Bridge. So westbound 64 backed up Ball Avenue to 3rd Street. It's jamming 5570 west of Exchange, emerging onto westbound 64, and eastbound 64 approaching 5570 into the Exchange area has a bit of a jam up as well. A little bit of a backup at the Missouri end of the McKinley Bridge downtown also. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for their 26-point tune-up. It's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's get a check of the forecast now with AccuWeather's Heather Zare. Heather, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of relief from humidity.
Yeah, we have a nice little break ongoing right now. Taking pictures of the arch, you got a beautiful blue sky for the backdrop, and that's going to be the case today. Sunny, cooler, and less humid as well. We'll top out at 85 degrees. Really just a beautiful day. Tonight, we see a few clouds coming back with a low of 68. Still not too humid. That changes tomorrow as the humidity's coming back up again. We'll have clouds and sun with a high of 82. There can also be a thunderstorm in the afternoon, but the better chance of thunderstorms is is going to be for tomorrow night, when there could even be some severe weather moving through. Any early thunderstorms that linger on Sunday will then give way to some sun and a high of 78. Definitely cooling off quite a bit. We'll stay in the upper 70s with low humidity and some sun on Monday. And then for Tuesday, clouds and sun with a high of 81. 67 in St. Peters right now. It's 70 in Florissant and 71 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, Sky AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. The Cardinals couldn't finish off the sweep yesterday, but they sure did show some power. We'll tell you about that coming up in sports.
It is now 7:43. The biggest IPO yet is taking place today. SpaceX going public. The initial price of $135 per share values the company at $1.8 trillion. The offering could make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
There are new rules on stock exchanges that make it easier for newly public companies to get added to index funds. What that means is if you have a 401k or a retirement account, you could very soon own SpaceX without even realizing it.
The gunman is dead, but a quest for justice continues in Uvalde, Texas, the site of the 2022 school massacre that killed 21. ABC's Jim Ryan says squabbling among lawmakers and law enforcement agencies has slowed the process.
Former Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo is accused of failing to adequately respond to the calls for help at Robb Elementary. But he's also filed a civil suit against Customs and Border Protection to force its agents to testify during his criminal trial. CBP has refused, essentially putting the prosecution of Pete Arredondo on hold.
More reaction to this week's Southern Baptist vote to possibly ban women from serving as pastors.
On Wednesday, more than 2/3 of the delegates attending the Southern Baptist Convention's annual national meeting in Florida voted to advance a formal ban on women pastors. The amendment would tighten existing restrictions in the SBC, which already has a faith statement opposing women pastors. The Reverend Meredith Stone is Executive Director of Baptist Women in Ministry.
It's so disappointing that Southern Baptists continue to prioritize limiting women's roles in ministry when there are so many other things which are worthy of attention.
Before becoming church law, the measure must pass with another 2/3 majority vote at next year's national gathering. While the Southern Baptist Convention cannot tell its self-governing churches what to do, it does have the power to expel churches from SBC membership, declaring them not in friendly cooperation. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Well, the Cardinals did not finish off a 3-game sweep of the Mets yesterday, but what they did was show off some offensive muscle. Alec Burleson got it going in the first.
Get the feeling that offense today is not going to be as easy as it's been the last couple of days against this particular pitcher who's been red hot lately.
There's a long one to right field, and it's long gone. That's a second level shot for Burleson. 1-0 Cardinals. You were saying?
Lars Nootbaar got in on the fun. He did it in the second inning.
But the Mets came back with 2 home runs and scored 3 off Hunter Dobbins. There's a drive, deep right field. Nootbaar has just hit a home run, and that goes past the second level. That was a tape measure shot, and the Cardinals are down by a run.
Specifically 445 feet. 2 batters later, Jimmy Crooks.
Before a touchdown in foul territory. And there's a long drive, deep right field. Jimmy Crooks has just hit a home run. That's a goner. A 2-run shot for Crooks. His second big league home run. His first came last year in Cincinnati. And the Cardinals go back in front.
Cards manager Oliver Marmol liked what he saw. Certainly that shot from Nootbaar.
He hit it a long ways. That was a really good swing against a good arm. Burleson, same thing. I like what Crooks was able to do today. So, yeah, up and down our lineup, I like the overall being aggressive in the zone, which is awesome.
That audio courtesy of Cardinals TV. Tonight, the Redbirds start a series in Minnesota. Kyle Leahy gets the ball for the Cardinals. It is a 7:10 first pitch, 6:15 with our pregame coverage. The 2026 World Cup is underway. It kicked off with a pair of Group A games yesterday in Mexico. Mexico picked up a 2-0 win over South Africa in Mexico City, while Korea picked up a 2-1 victory over Czechia in Guadalajara. Today, the other 2 hosts get in on it. They'll play their first games of the tournament. Canada plays host to Bosnia-Herzegovina in a Group B game at 2 o'clock. That is this afternoon in Toronto. And then the U.S. faces Paraguay in Group D game. That is in Los Angeles tonight at 8 o'clock. The U.S. is captained by St. Louis and Tim Ream. At age 38, he will become the oldest player to appear in a World Cup game for the United States.
Gostisbehere fake the drop back and takes off with the puck. Aho. It comes back. Ehlers, beautiful pass, and they score! Another power play goal for Svechnikov.
At Sean McDonough last night on ESPN, Andriy Svechnikov scored twice, and Carolina picked up a 4-2 win in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Hurricanes now 1 win away from the Cup. Game 6 is Sunday night in Las Vegas, and the NBA Finals Game 5 is tomorrow night. That is in San Antonio. The New York Knicks lead that series 3-1. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy. Brian Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Brian Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Brian Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo. Brian Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's now 7:50, and it's time for another update on the roads on this Friday morning. We get the latest from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the only place we have jam traffic is downtown, Megan, right now on 64, 55-64, specifically between 3rd Street and Exchange on 5570. Both directions are backed up on 64. The westbound stuff is on 5570 is Exchange to 3rd Street. 64 just as you ramp in past that merge point, but eastbound 64, 3rd Street to Exchange, like I said, is backed up as well. So road work hitting you in both directions there. Other than that, the rest of these highways have been in great shape. North 270 is just a little slow approaching Tesson Ferry. There's a little slowdown passing 64. South 270, the biggest slowdown on the Missouri side is approaching Olive down to Ladue. After that, you're good to go. And like I said, the rest of these highways in the metro area are light and on the go. Just a little busy on that ramp, South 170, getting on to eastbound 64 in Richmond Heights. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, we're in for a really nice weekend. Today, beautiful, mostly sunny, less humid, a high of 85. Tomorrow's high 82 with a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and then 78 as a high on Sunday with thunderstorm giving way to some sunshine. It's 70 degrees with sunshine right now.
More news now at 7:52. The U.S. Mint stopped making new pennies last November. That led to a penny shortage in places.
We saw locations of the Fed's coin distribution system slowly start announcing no more distribution, no more distribution. And then in March, the Federal Reserve changed its stance and began allowing banks and other entities to order pennies so they could fulfill transactions.
That's Jason Hadaway with the Missouri Bankers Association. He says going forward, it's important to have rules or laws in place that dictate how cash transactions will be handled. In Missouri, the penny law bill states how purchases will be rounded. The governor has yet to sign it.
Why the drop? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. Fewer women are being screened for breast cancer these days. ABC News correspondent Olivia Rubin tells us why that may be.
A new study looked at 20 years of CDC data for more than 2 million women. Overall, mammogram rates did not significantly change, but among women in their 40s, screening fell from about 70% to just under 60%. The largest declines seen in higher risk groups, including women without insurance, smokers, and those without a regular doctor. After a major screening guideline change in 2009, rates dropped even more in some groups, including white, Asian, and uninsured women. However, rates among Black women remain stable. Researchers say both access to care and changing screening decisions are contributing to these trends. With breast cancer on the rise in women under 50, experts call for regular screening that start at age 40 and a mammogram every 2 years until age 74.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
The St. Louis Zoo is closing early today. It's closing actually at noon. That's in order to set up for this evening's Zoofari. That's a 21 and up cocktail party featuring dozens of local restaurants. That event starts at 7:15. If you're interested in a ticket to that event, it's $200 for zoo members and $250 for general admission.
The 50th anniversary of ABBA's iconic track Dancing Queen will be marked with the release of 2 new vinyl variants.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
The single, remastered at Abbey Road Studios in London, will be reissued on 10-inch black vinyl and 10-inch sparkling vinyl on August 13th. Both formats are available for pre-order.
You know, some things are just timeless. Of course, this was my jam when I was, I don't know, a little kid. And then it came back, 15, 20 years ago with Mamma Mia. And now kids are listening to it today.
Yeah, it's back again.
So
proof that good music doesn't go away.
For sure. My son's been listening to this song a lot. One thing I am not getting back into, though, is vinyl. I already sold all my albums.
We were actually thinking of getting a turntable again.
Yeah.
We'd gotten rid of a lot of our components, and but now, the kids are buying CDs. They're buying cassettes again.
Wow.
Cassettes are super popular formats. And what kids are doing is they're going and buying cassettes that they find like at flea markets and things like that, and repurposing them. So I have some hope in this generation.
Yeah. I actually like the thought that cassettes are coming back, because I was quite well known in past years for my mixtapes.
Mixtapes, yes, we've been talking to the kids about mixtapes and how we used to make mixtapes.
I don't have a cassette player or a CD player in my house anymore, though.
We actually still have our double decks cassette player. So yeah, but we need to get a new turntable.
All right. Well, now Dancing Queen is your earworm for the morning. You're welcome. It is now 5:50 and make that 7:56.
I'm Brad Young. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Just talking about ABBA. As I get older, it's even more important that I take care of my eyes. I've already seen some changes due to age, and that's why I see Dr. Greg Birdie at Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com to find out more. Every visit there, I get a very thorough screening, and none of their equipment is scary. Their associates take time to walk you through everything so you know what's going to happen. And then Dr. Birdie takes time to go through what he's seeing on those scans and measurements. And we talk about what I need to watch for down the road. I have a pretty challenging prescription, and I have some conditions that run in my family like glaucoma. So there's a lot we're watching for. You can have that same level of care when you call Ophthalmology Associates. Again, that number is 314-966-5000, Or if you'd rather go online, you can go to youridoc.com. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. From issues like dry eye to conditions like cataracts and glaucoma, the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates can guide you through your diagnosis and treatment options. Call now 314-966-5000.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons?
Yep.
Decorations?
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party start at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
Let's check in with Roger Brandon, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble now, Debbie, on northbound 270 midway between 55 and Tesson Ferry. A crash involving a semi-block, and it looks like the three center lanes. Traffic's jammed back to 55, and of course on the Illinois side, 64's backed up between the 70 split both ways and 3rd Street. Next update at 8:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine this morning, 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. Coming up this hour on Total Information AM, one Metro East community working on new rules for data centers. We're going to get an update at 8:11.
Don't miss out. We'll run down the top stories of the week for you at 8:24.
Plus, if there is a deal to end the Iran war, could it help reduce costs and delays for air travelers? We're going to get our weekly visit from KMOX travel advisor Peter Greenberg.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zier. Low humidity and sunshine today. We'll have a cooler high of 85.
Stay with us here on Total Information AM on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Some violent weather in the central part of the country. At least 17 tornadoes touching down in Illinois and flights at a standstill in Chicago. ABC's Alex Perez is there.
At Chicago's Midway Airport, air traffic controllers forced to evacuate.
There's a tornado warning for the airport. It's supposed to be here in 10 minutes or so. We're evacuating the tower.
And a ground stop issued at O'Hare Airport. Nationwide, more than 1,400 flights canceled and thousands more delayed.
No reported fatalities in the storms. A day after threatening to blow up Iran further, President Trump now says a peace deal is imminent. Iran not confirming that, leaving the next steps unclear. Former Uvalde, Texas School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo back in court as a judge considers a motion for a change of venue. He's charged with 10 counts of endangering students by not responding quickly enough to the mass shooting in 2022. This is ABC News. Security will be very strict this weekend. You've got Game 5 of the NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup final, the start of the World Cup, and President Trump's birthday present, that big UFC fight on the White House lawn this Sunday. ABC News security contributor John Cohen with some advice for fans going to any of the events in person.
We want people to be aware, not scared. So when you're at the event, take a look around, become familiar with your surroundings. Think just for a moment what you would do if some type of emergency broke out, and then enjoy the event. And if you see anything suspicious, anything that makes you uncomfortable, report it to local law enforcement or security personnel.
President Trump's handpicked board at the Kennedy Center is seeking a stay of a judge's ruling that says Trump's name was illegally added to the center. and that it must be removed by the end of the day today. The formal request was filed late yesterday. That judge's ruling said that only Congress can change the name of the Kennedy Center. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have sunny skies, 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, June 12th. I'm Megan Lynch.
The program is broke. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you live in the 5th Ward or the 14th Ward. It doesn't serve our residents.
St. Louis city leaders letting the 50/50 Streets Sidewalk program expire. It comes as an executive order to implement the city's first transportation plan in decades was signed into law yesterday morning. The decades-old streets program is designed to allow property owners and the city to split the cost of sidewalk repairs 50/50. However, as costs continue to rise and infrastructure continues to crumble, the cost of repairs are often too much for residents to shoulder. Alderman Matt Devote.
For instance, in the 5th Ward right now, we have more than 600 50/50 requests. And that's in a ward where folks have the means to invest in sidewalks. Of course, outside of the ward, there are other residents, other places where that ability doesn't exist.
A big change coming to how you ride MetroLink.
Starting July 6th, Metro Transit's new fare collection system and automatic security gates pull into the first 13 stations. It's the opening phase of the plan to gate off every single MetroLink station in the region. And Metro CEO Talby Roach has told KMOX that some riders already have a head start on the new way to pay.
You will have tap to pay options, and we have a Metro app that works right now. As a matter of fact, the Metro app works on our entire bus system. So we have validators on the bus system. So a good section of the system is already in operation, and we're seeing fundamentally good numbers from that.
The rollout runs in phases, 13 stations July 6th, another 13 on July 17th, and the rest in August. Metro is urging riders to download the Transit app beforehand, allow extra travel time, and look for staff at the stations for help. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A man already facing charges for smashing windows at Steve's Hot Dogs has now been charged for doing the same thing at the gin room. A 27-year-old Nicholas Owens accused of breaking 2 windows at the South Grand Bar on June 4th. A witness pointed police in his direction. The whole thing apparently caught on surveillance video. Owens is being held without bond. Last night's rescue at Six Flags St. Louis, the kind of things crews almost never have to pull off. 4 guests stranded halfway up the 236-foot Sky Screamer swing ride. It took fire departments from across St. Louis County along with a crane to bring them down safely.
The basket is on the ground, and the 2 victims are coming out.
Eureka Fire Chief Scott Barthelmess tells KMOX.
You don't see this. You don't see a high angle. You don't see a tower rescue very often anywhere in the county.
But he says his crews were ready because they had rehearsed almost exactly this event.
We actually practiced this rescue not too long ago with with personnel actually lowering people down with ropes and everything.
All 4 riders were safe with no injuries. There are some concerns about what could be taxed if voters approve Amendment 5 on the ballot in August that would eliminate the state's income tax. How broad are protections against taxing medical care?
There's no federal law that would specifically prevent such taxation.
Not very broad, according to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. He says it becomes a gray area when it pertains to Medicare and Medicaid.
If the legislature in Missouri specifically focused taxation on certain types of medical services, that might run afoul of Medicare, Medicaid guidelines, and it could present problems.
Young says he believes a blanket tax on all doctor services could be allowed under federal law. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A report issued Wednesday says Missouri is on pace to go broke by the middle of next year because the state has been spending more money than it earns in revenue. Meanwhile, voters in August set to decide whether to approve phasing out the state income tax, as you just heard. Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick tells Missouri Net he doesn't think scrapping the state income tax would automatically make the situation worse.
I would not expect much of a change in our view if Amendment 5 were to pass. The takeaway for me is that we have a spending problem because spending's grown over 50% in 5 years, and that needs to get rectified one way or the other, regardless of how we fund state government.
If voters approve a gradual elimination of the state income tax, Republicans are considering ways to make up their revenue loss, such as increases in sales and use taxes on things like video streaming, haircuts, and lawn mowing services. The World Cup underway. St. Louisans watching closely. Here's KMOX's Jen Cease.
St. Louis may not be a World Cup host city, but St. Louis City SC is making sure the region is part of the celebration. The club launched its Summer of Soccer initiative Thursday beneath the Gateway Arch and will host events throughout the tournament. Community Relations Director Ken Early says the World Cup provides a unique opportunity to connect.
Yeah, we're not a host city, but we are a soccer city, and I think this is an opportunity to reconnect with the community.
And City President Diego Gigliani says the World Cup is much more than a sporting event.
The beautiful game, it just transcends an entertainment experience into a sense of identity, a sense of national pride. It's a total shared experience that everyone comes together and supports their national team.
City SC's next World Cup event is a free watch party Friday night on the Lou Fuse Plaza at Energizer Park for the United States opener against Paraguay. Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
It's 8:08. We'll get a check of traffic and weather coming up. And then ahead on Total Information AM, officials in Troy, Illinois are looking at some blanket provisions for data centers. They had paused any kind of new proposals on that for 6 months while they did this work. We're going to get an update on that coming up.
Get swept up in the drama and passion of Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire at Opera Theater of St. Louis. Experience an electrifying production with a powerful score and unforgettable characters in a tale of desires, secrets, and shattered illusions. The sweltering heat on stage will make for a dramatic summer evening. Performances run June 7th through 26th, and tickets start at just $25. Visit experienceopera.org for details and tickets.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 8:10. Let's head to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger Brand, what are you seeing on the roads this hour?
Well, we have this crash, Megan, on northbound 270 south of Tesson Ferry that involves a tractor-trailer. Emergency crews showed up on the scene. It looks like the two left lanes are now open. It was just the left lane. They blocked the rest of the lanes. Again, north 270 just before Tesson Ferry. Traffic's jammed back onto 55. Those right lanes, north 55, backed up at the Mattis overpass. There's a rescue crash, 141 at Astor Way. They just sent emergency crews there. It doesn't look like there's too much of a backup there right now. Maybe it's on Astor Way, but they called it out as being on 141. Other than that, the only other interstate issue we have is on the Illinois side, westbound 5570 onto 64 and 64 onto 5570. Both directions are backed up, 64 primarily, obviously, but it's between 3rd Street and Exchange, bumper-to-bumper traffic in both directions there for Illinois drivers. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Some changes to the weather today. It'll be cooler and less humid with sunshine and a high of 85. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68, and then we'll see a little more humidity getting back into the area for tomorrow. We'll have clouds and sun with an afternoon thunderstorm and a high of 82. Morning clouds and a thunderstorm give way to some sun on Sunday, high 78. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have sunny skies, 71 degrees in Florissant. We've got 69 reported in St. Peter's and downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM on this Friday morning. I'm Megan Lynch. Officials in Troy, Illinois are in the midst of preparing guidelines for any future data center proposal. That Metro East town hit pause on data centers earlier this year after residents balked at a proposal for a large-scale data facility near a church and local park. Last night, the Planning and Zoning Commission met to look at proposed ordinance revisions. Derek Rammert, Troy Residents for Responsible Development, joins me now on the Quiver River Electric Gas Line. Derek, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me again.
What were some of the things that you were hoping to see proposed by the Zoning Commission?
I think first off, I think the biggest thing is that we asked the city to take a step back and review the ordinances, and that's exactly what they're doing. When they stated this in March for a 6-month moratorium, they stated there'd be a halfway check-in point, which is now, with the goal to present ordinances and then work on those as a final draft through the end of that 6 months. That's actually not where they're at, and we're actually pleased with that. They're doing a different route. What they want to do instead is extend the moratorium when this one's up another 6 months. And last night was really more of a check-in of here's the guidelines, here's some of the things we're thinking of, and we want zoning and planning's input, but we also want the residents' input for you to get up and talk about what we're thinking as we start to sketch this out. And one of the things that they cited from that was technology's changing, legislation's changing, and we need to slow down and take our time to do this correctly.
Derek, it sounds like you feel gratified by the way city officials are responding and handling this issue.
Well, I think we're very thankful. We have a city that's listening to the people that live there. That says a lot. That says a lot about a town you want to live in. There's other cities around that these data centers are really just tearing apart the fabric of the town, these conversations and how divisive they are. And rather than being one of those towns, we're a town that we're all in this together. We're all trying to work together.
Are you concerned that the city could face any kind of legal action by extending this moratorium? Because I know in some other cities that's been the concern.
I think the concerns that I've heard in the past are if you enact a 1 year, if you do it in 6 months increment and you can extend it 6 months, I don't believe that they felt that was a legal concern.
So what are some of the concerns overall that you have about data centers that you want city officials to look at?
Actually, what we want them to look at is what they're looking at. We held a forum on March 9th where we brought in some great industry experts. We brought in Prescott Balch, we brought in Scott Allen and Sean Behrens, and they talked about from living in Wisconsin and seeing data centers in action, some of the things that we may not have been aware of. And a lot of those were things of like the decommissioning, what happens when a data center goes empty, the construction, but then also looking at the noise regulations, the water use, the cooling system regulations. Everything we were doing prior was enacting ordinances quickly to kind of welcome a data center, versus now we're writing them to make sure if a data center were to come here, what level of a data center is digestible for the people that live here.
You mentioned those experts that you've brought in that have dealt with this in other parts of the country. I wonder, though, has it been difficult to find examples of exactly how to write the proper ordinances to protect a community while allowing for development?
The one thing about it is where we're at now is other towns have either fortunately or unfortunately had to live through this. And one of the ones they cited that they're looking at for ordinances, and I don't know much detail on this, I need to look into it more because we just learned of it last night, was Aurora, Illinois. And what makes Aurora, Illinois unique is, one, they have a big data center campus, but the reason for looking at their ordinances is they've had a lot of concerns that led to Aurora revisiting its regulations, and they actually enacted a moratorium last year. So they're a town that's an example of they brought this in, and then they realized that the rules they had weren't working.
Do you feel like Troy could be that model for other more rural towns that are facing data center proposals?
I think we could. I think we've got some great people on the city council, and our city engineer and everybody looking at the right way to work with the town. We're working with the town. We conducted a survey a couple months ago that we're going to share with the city officials, and that survey was looking at what does the future of Troy, what do people envisioning the future of Troy looking like? What type of growth do they want? And they've been very receptive to hearing the results of that survey. So when you have a town they live here, these are your neighbors, these are your brothers and sisters as well, and they want to work with you, that can work very well.
Do you feel there is middle ground for data centers where the community might welcome that type of development if there were protections?
It's tough because what's gone about in the past 6 months has almost made data centers a curse word here. It's come with a lot of negative impact. I think a lot of it has been how it was approached originally. If there's room for a smaller one, I don't know. I don't know what level is digestible for the people that live here, but I know it's unfortunately the things we had to go through in the past 6 months weren't enjoyable for anybody. So I think there's a lot of negative context with the word now.
One of the things that I have noted in covering this issue in multiple communities over recent months is a common theme, and that is that members of the public don't feel like they are alerted to or know the discussions that are happening in some of the earliest proposals. Is there anything in the proposals that you're asking, Troy, for that would really bring this to residents much earlier if there's another proposal?
There is. There's a 2-reading ordinance that they want to enact. And so versus before when it can go through zoning and planning, and then the very next step is when the next city council happens, they can approve it. In this instance, it can go to zoning and planning, and it still goes to city council, but they can't approve it. That's just the first reading. So there's a chance of zoning and planning to be aware of something that's happening now. The first reading at city council, and then it can either pause and wait for the second one if they want to approve it as is, or it can be sent back. And so that 2-step process adds a 14 to 30-day window into the process now.
Well, Derek, we look forward to seeing what residents and the city come up with eventually. Thank you for the update, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
That is Derek Reimert. He's with Troy Residents for Responsible Development, joining me this morning here on KMOX. Let's get an update on the roads, especially 270 northbound where we had that crash. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. What's the latest there, Roger?
Yeah, really not much change, Megan, on that one. This traffic report's a service of Artistic Decks. The emergency crews went back in service, it looked like, but they still have the right-hand lanes blocked. It's still just the 2 left lanes open north 270 before Tesson Ferry, so it's jammed back onto 55. Those right lanes at northbound 55 are a solid jam at Mattis. And we're working this crash 141 at Astor Way. They are diverting traffic onto Astor Way because of this rescue crash. So there's short jams in both directions. Really not going to hold you up too much. You just get onto Astor Way and then get around the crash and get back on 141 is what it looks like from my vantage point right now. Then on the Illinois side, we still have this traffic backed up both ways, 64 and 5570 between 3rd Street and Exchange due to ongoing road work. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger. Still ahead on Total Information AM. In case you missed it, we're going to bring you up to speed on the week's top news. First, a check of the forecast. Mostly sunny, pleasant today. It's going to be cooler and less humid. I'm sure that's welcome news. A high of 85 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 68. Currently, sunshine 69 downtown at the Arch.
Artistic Decks. For 26 years, we've been making dreams affordable in the St. Louis area. With an A+ BBB rating, we're the team you can trust. Let us build your dream deck. Artistic Decks. For a free consultation, call us at 314-280-0821.
Cards fans ready to dress for the occasion? Well, Friday, June 26th, as the Cardinals take on the Miami Marlins, you'll get a brand new all-over Prince shirt. But that's just the start. You'll also get the matching shorts, too. It's not just a shirt, but a full summer set that brings a tropical twist to game night and makes waves in the stands. Available in medium and XL while supplies last. More details and tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
In case you missed it, Total Information AM is going to bring you up to speed on the week's top news. Teen takeovers are the hot reel on social media. 8 fights broke out at a shopping plaza in Shrewsbury last Sunday, and we've been talking about it all week. Many of those kids simply sent home to their parents.
The adult system is about accountability and punishment and consequences, and the juvenile system is primarily based on the idea of rehabilitation and growth of the youth.
That's longtime local prosecutor Rachel Smith. KMOX asked about parent responsibility.
If the parents dropped them off knowing there was a danger and a risk, or knowing of the potential for criminal behavior, then yes. But if they dropped them off sort of in a negligent manner, or in a manner where they didn't know what was going on, depending on the age of the child, no.
The new chief of the St. Louis County Police Department, Juan Cox, tells KMOX concern about teen takeovers is keeping him up at night.
Something bad is going to happen. And when it happens to young folks, it looks twice as bad. We have programs in place to keep them busy. But I think we really have to start holding these juveniles accountable for their actions.
He says intelligence units for both St. Louis County and St. Louis City working to put together a plan to combat the issue. A months-long effort to recall the mayor of Festus and several council members over approval of a data center is dead.
Malone just said you can't.
At a packed meeting, the council refused to put the recall on the August ballot. The Festus city councilor said the petitions didn't qualify because they weren't specific, so the council voted no. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young says Festus residents may have to go back to the drawing board.
They simply alleged that the Festus City Council committed acts of incompetence or they actually committed malfeasance, but they did not describe what that was. And under Missouri law, you have to give specific examples.
Organizers have vowed to go to court to try to force the recall onto the ballot. World Cup soccer is kicked off. Missouri expecting hundreds of thousands of visitors over the next month. Kansas City, of course, one of the 11 U.S. locations for World Cup matches. Officials are issuing warnings, though, about scams and crime, including human trafficking.
If you see someone transporting interstate, a lot of young people that seem to be there under duress, another good sign. If you encounter a young person who's old enough that they should have an ID and maybe a means of payment, but they have nothing, also a good sign.
That's Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. The White House urging European transportation hubs to take more precautions against the spread of Ebola during World Cup travel. Should we be worried here about a spread of the deadly disease?
It's a very low risk.
That's Dr. Alexander Garza, Chief Community Health Officer at SSM Health. The first World Cup match in KC is Argentina versus Algeria. That comes up on Tuesday. It's now 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale are coming to the Family Arena for one magical night of country and Christmas, December 17th. It's the Gatlin Brothers Farewell Tour, and Crystal Gale is joining them to celebrate an evening of country's greatest hits and beautiful Christmas music. Don't miss the Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale. Tickets are available at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
Mickey Dolenz, 60 Years of the Monkees. One night celebrating the music from their hit TV show, The Monkees and a Generation of Adoring Fans. Friday, November 13th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. All the biggest hits and intimate stories from the groundbreaking hit show. Mickey Dolenz. On sale at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Let's get the latest on problems on the roads, including that crash on northbound 270. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're making some headway there, Megan. The 3 left lanes are open now. North 270 past this crash south of Tesson Ferry. So it looks like they're getting close to wrapping it up, but it's still jammed back onto 55. The right lanes of 55 backed up north of Butler Hill, and a lot of folks are just skipping, getting onto North 270 and getting off at Lindbergh. That exit is jammed right now as well. And they're still working this crash. 141 at Astor Way. They're diverting traffic. It looks like southbound 141 onto Astor Way just to get around that crash. That's a rescue crash. Out in St. Charles City, we have one on Elm at 370 with injuries, and they're dealing with that. On the Illinois side, you still have the roadwork backups on 64 between 5570 Exchange and 3rd Street, both directions, bumper to bumper. Next update at 8:40 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Mostly sunny skies today. It is going to be a pleasant day, cooler and less humid with a high of 85. More from the Saliga Heating and Cooling weather desk as we head into tonight. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68. A mix of clouds and sun tomorrow. It'll be more humid with a thunderstorm in the afternoon. We're expecting a high of 82 on Sunday. Clouds giving way to some sunshine. We could see a thunderstorm, though, as we start the day. Expect a high of 78 degrees. Monday, partly sunny and pleasant with a high again around 78. And then for Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sun. We've got a high around 81. Currently, we have 71 degrees in Florissant, 69 in St. Peters, 69 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
President Trump says the U.S. and Iran could come to terms this weekend on a deal to end the war in Iran. Now, one group that has been having some challenges because of this are air travelers. It's time for our weekly visit with KMOX travel editor Peter Greenberg. He is host of Peter Greenberg Worldwide, airing weekends here on KMOX. Will a deal like this ease some things for travelers, Peter?
Not immediately, because the airspace still has to be reopened. Airlines have to get their schedules back on track. Remember, they've been doing a serious amount of triage on their schedules, canceling thousands of flights, especially in and to and through that region. And that also will affect airfares. Don't expect the airfares to come down anytime soon either, as we're entering the summer months, because when the airlines cancel flights, that means there's a reduced number of flights with the same demand, which means every flight is full, airfares go up. If you're looking for flights or flight prices to come down, assuming there's a peace deal, look for October.
Peter, of course, we are World Cup crazy here in the United States right now, especially where we've got some matches in Kansas City. Who's coming to games? Who's not? What's it mean for other people's chances to go over the next month?
Well, you know, it's a very big deal, and it's been a big deal for quite some time. However, there's been a double-digit drop in the number of foreign visitors to the U.S., and that's been going on for almost 14 months, and that includes soccer fans. You've seen some of the stories recently about their inability to get visas and to come in, or being turned away at the border, or just the fear of not being able to come has turned a lot of people away. Just recently, FIFA gave back 10,000 hotel rooms they no longer need. So what does that mean for people who want to go to the games, who live in the U.S.? That means the ticket prices may be coming down. That steep premium you might have had to pay in the past may not be that steep at all. Will the stadiums be filled? Of course they will, but mostly with Americans now coming to the games because they'll be able to afford a ticket for a change.
One thing I have to mention, Peter, is you are going to be in St. Louis next week. You are heading out on the Mother Road, Route 66. Give us a little preview of what you're doing here.
We're doing a 7-part television special that'll be on PBS and Amazon and Apple TV that we're calling Hidden Route 66. We're going in, to, and through all the states, and of course that includes Missouri. I'm talking to you today from Oklahoma. I'm heading later today to Marshfield, Missouri, and then of course into St. Louis. I'll see you guys right there next week.
Sounds great. And you can listen to Peter Greenberg Worldwide tomorrow from 7 to 9 here on KMOX. Thank you so much.
You got it.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
It's time for your money Money Report. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
SpaceX has made history with the biggest ever initial public offering, launching it into the top ranks of largest public companies. It's also putting founder Elon Musk on the verge of becoming the world's first trillionaire. The company raised $75 billion in the IPO, pricing shares at $135 each. SpaceX will begin trading later today on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SPCX. Turning to market action, stocks soared yesterday as President Trump signaled the U.S. is close to a deal with Iran. The Dow jumped 930 points. And robo-taxi company Waymo is introducing a $30 monthly membership program that promises faster pickup times and credits toward future rides. Waymo Premier will be offered on an invite-only basis. The program is a new way for Waymo to monetize its cost-intensive self-driving technology. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope, Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Early reports indicate at least 11 tornadoes touched down across Illinois in powerful storms last night. A Florida man now suing several law enforcement departments after a wrongful arrest that was prompted by artificial intelligence. And Steven Spielberg's new film, Disclosure Day, explores extraterrestrial life and its impact on religion. Let's get the latest on the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our issue on 141 at Astor Way, Megan. This traffic report service of McKelvey Homes. They're still diverting traffic off onto Astor Way because of a rescue crash that's in the middle of the intersection. All lanes are back open now, northbound 270 where we had that crash south of Tesson Ferry. Traffic still backed up onto the 55 ramps. In fact, the right lanes of 55 are backed up north of Butler Hill, and that Lindbergh exit still looks pretty congested as well. A lot of folks have been taking Tesson Ferry. It looks like it's backed up midway between Butler Hill and Mattis over to 270 as an alternate route. Still see some heavy traffic on Newtown at 370 where we had an earlier injury crash. In downtown, we still have roadwork delays both directions on 64 between the 70 split and 3rd Street. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelley.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelley on 104.1 FM, King of OX.
Good morning, John Hancock.
Top of the morning, my headphones are broken.
Yeah, and you came in here like pontificating about the game of snooker.
Yeah.
And in fact, you told me that
Relatively young sport.
So then I started to name other sports.
Yeah.
And the other sports I named were all older than, or were all younger than, so basketball.
That's one sport.
Right. Baseball.
Older.
It is?
Yes.
When did Abner Doubleday invent baseball?
Abner Doubleday did not invent baseball.
What do you mean he didn't invent baseball?
That's folklore, not true.
John, I
not
taught
watched
it in school?
Well, have you not watched the Ken Burns documentary, Baseball? He makes it quite clear that Abner Doubleday did, in fact, not invent baseball.
Well, then who invented it?
It sort of organically evolved from something called town ball back in the day. But we have a guest, Michael. So
who we got?
We have State Representative Bishop Davidson. He is from Greene County in southwest Missouri, and he is one of the sponsors of the income tax repeal. And he's joining us right now on the Quiver River Electric Cooperative guest line. Representative Davidson, welcome to St. Louis and KMOX.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So this is going to be on the ballot, the income tax repeal, in August, just a couple of months away. And tell me, what does it do? Let's start there.
Yeah, no. So the purpose of Amendment 5 is simple. It wants to reform our taxes in a significant pro-growth kind of way. Primarily, we're attempting to eliminate Missouri income taxes. And so the first part of that ensures that the legislature shall use excess revenues over time to buy down our rate over time. And the second part of it allows the legislature to have a narrow conversation around consumption taxes to eliminate income taxes even faster.
And one of the rationales for doing this is to make Missouri more competitive. What do we know about I think it's 11 other states that have eliminated their income tax? What's been the result of that?
There are 9 other states with 0% income tax right now, and they're the states that are outperforming those states with income taxes significantly. 5 of the top 10 states are states with 0% income, and those states with income taxes are the ones who are falling behind, whether it's population migration or gross state product as a portion of gross domestic product. And so you're exactly right. It's about competing with other states. It's also, though, just about spurring on growth here in the state of Missouri and putting more money back into the pockets of Missourians as we face a very real affordability crisis.
Representative, you mentioned that doing away with the income taxes to get rid of taxes. How do we replace that revenue? Because those are some vital services that get funded by our income tax.
Yeah, so you have 3 big ways to eliminate income taxes. You either use growth over time, you cut it out of the budget, which, like you're saying, isn't really a reasonable proposition. It's too much that it funds. And then lastly, you replace that revenue. And that means you got to ask which taxes are less tolerable than other taxes. I think taxing productivity and time, which is what you're doing when you're taxing income, is the worst of all. I think taxing someone's consumption makes a lot more sense. And what we found is that if we got rid of all the sales tax exemptions that exist today, we'd have about a 5% sales tax rate and could eliminate our income tax. Currently, we've got a 4.225% rate.
So the tax actually gets moved to other places. I keep hearing that I will be paying taxes on going to see my doctor, my dentist, my barber. Would that be the case?
Yeah, so, I mean, on your doctor, for instance, there's 3 big realities, because I've heard this, I think, is a lot of fear-mongering. The 3 realities are this, that federally, we are required to exempt almost half of healthcare medical services right out the gate. Almost every other state exempts that, and Missouri won't be any exception. And then lastly, Governor Keogh has been very clear, very public about his desire to keep healthcare exempted from sales taxes. When it comes to getting rid of other exemptions, there's a lot of exemptions in place that make our sales tax code very archaic and outdated. As our economy has moved from goods to services, our sales tax has remained, 100 years old. And if you modernize it, that's where the magic really happens. If you modernize it, you're able to keep a relatively low sales tax rate, especially compared to those states around us. and eliminate income taxes at the exact same time.
State Representative Bishop Davidson is our guest. He's from Greene County in southwest Missouri, and he's one of the sponsors of what will be called Amendment 5 on the August ballot. So as I understand it, and I could be wrong about this, I'm often wrong, but never in doubt, Bishop. So if you were basically giving people a 5% pay raise by eliminating the state income tax, and you would have to spend about twice your paycheck every paycheck period in order for the sales tax increases to outweigh what you're getting in income tax decreases.
There was a study done, Missouri specific, looked at a plan like this. Is Council of Economic Advisors, came out in January of 2026, so it's this year, new study. And it said the average wage earner in Missouri stands to benefit net gain, new dollars in their pocket, $2,704 to $2,872 a year. That is what we are talking about when we're talking about incentivizing growth and having a pro-growth tax code.
And there you have it, folks. Amendment 5 is going to be on your ballot on August 4th, just a couple of months away, less than that, actually. And we want to thank State Representative Bishop Davidson for joining us this morning. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Michael and I will be back just after this on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm Michael Calhoun. This is KMOX, the Voice of St. Louis.
Here we are with a beautiful June weekend ahead of us, and maybe your home is still on the market. You're having another open house, more people coming through, no good bids, or maybe no bids at all. Maybe it's time for a new agent. Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, she has a lot of clients who have had other agents before her, sometimes several agents, and sometimes those are her best customers because she can show them what she means when she says Your Home Sold Guaranteed. That's right. Gloria is going to put it in writing. She guarantees to sell your home in the price and time frame acceptable to you, or she will buy your home herself so you know that your home is sold. Gloria can sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. So when you are ready to sell your St. Louis area home, do your homework and then call the expert that I would recommend. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Find her online now at gloriaasthebuyers.com.
Grab your shades, your float trip gear, and join us June 17th for Chris and Amy Day at Busch Stadium.
We'll be broadcasting live from the Mississippi Yacht Club pop-up bar outside Gate 1, hanging with fans and serving up some fun behind the bar.
Live music, Fred Bird special guests will all be there. Plenty of chances to stop by and say hello.
Plus, you can sit with fellow Chris and Amy listeners in our special section for just $15.
June 17th.
Chris and Amy Day at the ballpark, $15 tickets.
Get your tickets now, cardinals.com/Chris and Amy.
Go Cards.
Harmony STL presents Now Playing, featuring the ambassadors of Harmony, Visions of Harmony, the Recruits, and Fleet Street performing the hits that shape generations. Saturday, June 13th, 2 p.m., Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets at harmonystl.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hancock and Kelley, we will stay
are
with you till the top of the hour. Then we're joined by Amy. Chris is out today. I will be with Amy all the way till noon.
How about that?
And what a big show. We didn't start with a deacon or a priest. We started with a bishop.
That's exactly right.
And we talked to him about the income tax, which will be on the ballot, John Hancock.
Yes.
And I would assume you're a proponent of wanting to see the income tax eliminated.
Passionate advocate, Michael.
I tried to, in a delicately polite way, ask him how they're going to replace the revenue.
Yeah.
And he gave us several scenarios of what could happen. But isn't that part of the problem with Amendment 5 is they want to do away with the income tax, but we're not going to tell you how we're going to replace it.
Well, that's because they very properly decided to phase it out. We're not just whoosh, the income tax is gone. They're going to phase it out. And as revenues raise, so you're going to have some economic growth that's going to phase out the estate income tax. And yes, you're going to have most likely a sales tax increase.
So he said this was about eliminating taxes, but in fact, it's not.
No,
we're going to shift taxes to other places.
It's about eliminating income taxes.
So if I'm a senior citizen in the state of Missouri, I'm collecting my Social Security. Guess what I don't pay?
income tax, but
Yes.
you do on Social Security benefits.
But then when I go to the grocery store and I buy my bar soap, or I pick up my stuff to put in my washing machine, my soap to put in my washing machine, the prices of all that stuff is going to go up, is it not?
Yeah, but I'm telling you that the income tax decrease more than outweighs whatever the sales tax increase is going to be.
The other thing I keep hearing,
net, you come out ahead.
The other thing I keep hearing from Republicans is, you know what our number one industry in the state of Missouri is?
Agriculture.
It's agriculture. You know what we're going to do? We're going to exempt agriculture from. Why does agriculture get treated differently than, I don't know, being a lawyer, being a doctor who's now going to suddenly have to charge sales tax, being a political consultant?
Where are you reading that? I haven't seen that.
What?
Agriculture being exempted? It's not. No.
It's the number one industry, and they said they're going to find a way to exempt it. That was one of the talking points that I keep hearing. See, this is the problem, John. When there's not a plan, and you're just going to take away billions of dollars and not tell people how you're going to replace it.
Well, you're going to replace it with sales tax.
Special interests are going to rush into the room and protect themselves. So agriculture will get protected. Now we just heard that they're going to protect healthcare. And doctors. So who gets to take it in the shorts here?
Healthcare has no sales tax in virtually every state in the country. That's not a special carve out. That is a policy decision that we've made as a country. And I don't know. I mean, maybe you like paying income taxes. I don't. And this is a 5% pay raise. Is what that's the net effect of what this is a 5% pay increase.
Here's the problem,
and it will more than offset whatever sales taxes go up.
Here's the problem with the argument you all bring up every time when it comes to, nobody wants to pay taxes.
Correct.
We just don't. But we all do want to have a road that we can get here. We all want stop signs that are functioning. We all want police officers that are going to show up and schools that can educate our kids. So at the end of the day, a reality, just like death, is we're going to have taxes.
Sure, you're going to have taxes.
But the income tax fairly goes after everybody's taxes as a percentage of their income.
It does not.
As opposed to shifting it to a sales tax, which clearly hits older Missourians and poorer Missourians harder because suddenly the basic staples of life become more expensive.
The wealthiest people pay more sales taxes than anybody else, and the wealthiest people don't generally pay income taxes because their wealth is built on investment income and
explain to me how wealthy people pay more taxes. They buy the same amount of toilet paper that a poor person buys. They go out and buy a Ferrari, they're going to pay an extra sales tax on it. But the reality is you're only going to buy one or two Ferraris in your lifetime if you're a really rich dude.
And you might.
If you are a regular working Missourian, you have to show up and get the paper towels, all the staples of life every week, and you've raised the cost of them.
Are you telling me that wealthy people don't consume more than middle income earners? Is that what you're telling me?
No, what I'm telling you is when it comes to the staples of life, the cost gets increased on those at the bottom the most. Whereas if under our current state income tax, those at the top pay their 5%, they don't see it. It's a small pittance of a money. And now we're going to shift that burden away from the richest Missourians and put it on to the working Missourians.
The working Missourians who will all get a 5% pay raise because of this, and it will be more than offset whatever sales tax they're going to pay. That's the question. It's how do you want to be taxed? Do you want to pay less taxes or more taxes? If you pass Amendment 5, every Missourian is going to be paying less in taxes. Why? Because the sales tax is paid for. You know what our number 2 industry is?
What?
Tourism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Branson.
And so you've got the sales taxes being paid by tourists. And so now you're shifting your tax burden away from Missourians to non-Missourians. And the Missourians are going to realize a tax benefit net at the end of this process.
So I know we only got about 45 seconds, so let me ask you this.
Yes.
Kansas did the same thing.
No.
They had a plan. No, they got rid of the state income tax.
Yes.
Okay. They had a plan as to how they were going to do it and pay for it. We don't have a plan here. We're just going to get rid of the state income tax and then figure it out later. What makes us think that this is going to end differently than it ended in Kansas, which, by the way, the Republicans brought back the income tax?
Numbers, buddy. Numbers is what makes it work. In Kansas, they eliminated the entire income tax in one fell swoop. That was a mistake. Here, we're going to phase it out over a number of years, and people are going to realize a net increase to their incomes because of it, and their disposable incomes and their spending power.
Well, at least we've got a couple of months to go through this. We will talk about it more because this is a raw deal. You're going to wind up paying more, and you're letting the billionaires off the hook, is what I say.
They're off the hook right now under the current system. Amy is next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends.